Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back again with another live stream. I don't really have, too much planned. Just going to go through a couple chapters and, if people stop by and have questions in the chat or whatever, I'll address those. But, yeah, so I'm going to go through 2nd Esdras 9 and then Wisdom of Solomon 15. And, I have a few things just a few notes that I made. I think it's pretty clear to everybody what's going on. So there's no real need to go into too much depth. I think it's pretty clear the times that we live in now. It's just a matter of, what involvement we have, and then Christ's second coming and that type of thing, which, I suspect a lot of people are anxiously awaiting. So, I don't think there's really too much new for me to say. My quote unquote job is fairly easy now. I just take videos that are in the mainstream and mirror them, and then copy and paste a couple of verses like Revelation 13 and Job 9:24, and then it couldn't be easier. I would say in the times that we live in now, it's amazing. And, that the Bible is speaking that plainly and, loudly. It's incredible. So, hey, Mateo, what's up, man? And End Times Teacher. And yeah, son, good to see you guys, man. Shalom. So, yeah, I have a few points listed here. And then I'll read those 2 chapters. And then, if there's no questions or nobody's around, then, if End Times Teacher, you want to join, I'll just drop the link in the chat. People that I know, no issues. If you can come on and just not have your video on, unless you're trying to show something or whatever, but no worries. And if it's somebody I don't know, I know all the people in the chat, the few people, but, I just ask that you let me know what you want to talk about first, because I think as people, and this is a heads up for people, as the truth becomes more and more obvious, okay, the people who are against the truth are going to be more and more intense. Okay. So even in our personal life, we have to be mindful that, I would walk, and move around very carefully, and who you trust and all that kind of stuff, because the truth is exciting for us, but the opposite, excitement for other people, as the Bible starts becoming even more, obvious visually, all eyes will see him. And then, that begins the wrath of God. That's not good news, for a lot of people. And then I'll talk about that in 2nd Esdras 9 and Wisdom 15. So, I'm going to be a bit more careful. Not that many people come by here, but it just I would recommend for people just, again, keep a low profile and, don't really argue and debate too much with people. If you're doing it for a laugh or to kill time or whatever, and you feel like you're in a safe environment, that's good. But I wouldn't get into it with too many people, because, the days are evil and they're going to get worse. So unless you really feel like, arguing is going to accomplish something, I would tread carefully always, but definitely in the times that we live in. ETT's like, yeah, man, I'll join the show. I'll come on in 40 minutes. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so by that time, I should get through, the couple chapters, 2nd Esdras 9 and Wisdom 15. So I'm going through the Apocrypha. Amazing, amazing book, all of them. And so, as I go through it, I'll post lessons or, whatever I learn really from it. And there's a lot of wealth, of knowledge in those books. And so even books that are uncertain, whether they should be, you can still learn from them. It's not like we've been so brainwashed by the Christians who are mentally retarded to not read religious texts or whatever. But you should read everything, and that you feel like is interesting. And then, because God is behind, now we know that God is behind the left and the right hand side. So his mind is encoded in everything, everybody and everything, and so that's a powerful revelation, you know, that we know now. And so you can learn from everything, you know, and that's fine. So, you know, don't be afraid to read those books, you know, that kind of thing. And yeah, Apocrypha, I've proven already that Apocrypha has prophecy, like End Times Teacher saying. It's definitely in 2nd Esdras, which I'll bring out today. And, you know, ETT and I did a hangout yesterday, and I mean, it's nonstop. Okay. I would say actually 2nd Esdras is very, very important to read. Not just that it has prophecy, but it's important to read it to get the full picture. And, you know, the book of Judith. And I looked at my sequence list. I think I have 128 videos in the sequence of the end times. And then there's probably more because I started grouping them together. But, you know, in that list, you know, it's from the Apocrypha as well. So Wisdom of Solomon, Judith, and then 2nd Esdras. So the Apocrypha, I would say, and I haven't finished it yet, but I would say it's loaded with prophecy. The whole Bible is a loop of the end times. Now I know this, like right from the jump, right from Genesis, and, you know, the angels, you know, administering that judgment to Sodom and Gomorrah. That was a prophetic experience. Okay. That's a prophetic historical account that, you know, God is going to mirror in the last days. And then the judgment of that will be in America though. Okay. But it's the same scene, you know, and potentially even some of the same characters. Lot, I would suspect he's one of the elect. He would be on the earth right now. Okay. And so, you know, just know that. So, yeah, the Apocrypha is very important. And so that's why, you know, I chose them for this, this stream, and we'll learn a lot, you know, a lot. And so I feel like those books are like even more spiritual. Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Bible, but those books are kind of the master class, so to speak. When you go to those, you're going to start seeing even more deeper things, you know, and that type of thing. And then I would say Tobit is an excellent book to read because you're going to see the way a righteous man operates. You see that all throughout the scriptures, no doubt, but that's the kind of person that God works with. Okay. If you read the book of Tobit, and then if you read Judith, you'll get an understanding of like the female version of somebody who's righteous. And so take time, you know, to read those books. It's incredible. And certainly if you're subscribed to my channel, you're going to see pretty much all of that going forward. So, you know, just know that, you know. And so that's the way the world is that it's going to get you to not look into the truth. Okay, wherever the truth is, the world's going to say, no, don't look over there. Okay, you know, look over here. But the problem is all the people that are telling you to look over here are retarded. Okay, so don't listen to them. Okay, read all these books and all that kind of stuff. And then kind of what End Times Teacher is saying, that they have Tobit has magic in it. Okay, this world thinks that everything that God does is like magic, like it's sorcery, because the world is inverted. So it doesn't surprise me, you know, that people would say, not just the Apocrypha, the world would say what the Bible says is magic, you know, and fairy tales and, you know, your sky daddy and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, we're going to find out about this sky daddy, and it's not funny, but we're going to find out, okay, that he is our father and he is coming in the sky. Okay. And then we're going to see, for the people out there who make fun of God, you know, what kind of mood he's in. Okay. And the Bible talks about that. And then we might even get into that here in this hangout. So, you know, for people out there, don't fall victim to this notion that the Bible is magic and all that kind of stuff. I mean, in the times that we live in now, I cannot believe anybody could not at least give the Bible a chance. Okay. Like give it an ear, one ear at least. Okay. You know, give it a chance. Okay. It could not be more obvious to me. And I have a feeling the people in the chat right now, that the Bible is the word of God. Okay. And so if that is the word of God, then the beginning, it has happened, and then the end's going to happen. Okay. So, and the end happening is going to involve a lot of fire. Okay. And not lit by a Bic, you know, lighter or anything like that. Okay. It's going to be real fire. Okay. And a lot of fire. Okay. And if you're in that fire, then you will no longer exist after that, according to Matthew 10:28. So the people here who have a brain that come by here, we don't want to be a part of that. Okay. Because that's a permanent destruction. Matthew quoted the Apocrypha. Okay, yeah, I can read that. Let me see. Also, we went over this recently that in Joshua, when they were describing, one of the verses that we bring out with the flat Earth, they reference the book of Jasher. So, again, like they're not referencing books that are false completely or anything like that. Is that the right verse, ETT? Enter ye in the straight gate, for wide is the gate that leadeth to destruction. I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about. That references 2 Esdras 7. But what I hope people have gotten from my yeah, I see the consistency in that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so if you read 2 Esdras 7, you get the same sense as what is being written of in Matthew 7:13. With the broad gate, and so yeah. So what End Times Teacher's saying is worth looking into. But so there's consistencies, is what he's getting at with those two verses. And so what I know now, which is an amazing eye-opening experience for me, is that not just one verse here and there, here a little, there a little, here and there a little. The whole Bible is consistent, okay, from beginning to end, and the placement and structure of it is what's needed also to make it consistent. And so that's amazing to me. Just from a structural perspective, the Bible did not just land itself in the right place. It's impossible to believe that statistically for me now, with those 128 sequence videos that I've seen now and produced. So, and I could find more. Some of the ones that are not as obvious, I don't post them, but and I'll find more, in the Apocrypha at this point. So it just shows that the entire Bible is breathing the same narrative. It's the same spirit. It has to be. And so now the question is that spirit going to do the things that he says he's going to do in the last days? And so that's what we have to wait and see, and that's the last thing. But I don't really think that there's much doubt for many people that that we're on the precipice of that, being fulfilled in its fullness. Yeah, I'll get those in a second, ETT. After I just get through these, we can talk about the Apocrypha, because I'm going to read from the Apocrypha in a second. So I just want people to know everything is working to the Bible's fulfillment, okay? People who come by here, I know in literally like a minute that what you're allowed to talk about and not allowed to talk about, okay? And so that's your lot, okay? But those people, you're making the Bible come true, because that means we'll never have progress, which means that righteousness will not flourish, in a large way. And then God needs that, okay? Because then we could usurp this system and then prevent the evil from happening, but God doesn't want that, okay? So that's why certain people are assigned to me and other truthers to go and make sure that the truth doesn't go out, okay? You can talk a little bit here and there, but don't get too serious about it and don't push it out, okay? So they come and sort of, surround us and then come here and just distract, okay? And that's why I'm annoyed a lot. So I apologize for the 5 to 10 people that are sincere. I'm not, when I respond to your questions and all that, I appear to be in a perpetual bad mood, and it's not because of you people, okay? It's the other people that annoy me, okay? So I genuinely apologize. That's not what, I'm not trying to take out my angst towards those people on you, and the people, here in the chat, and like, people who are just trying to learn and stuff, because I'm just trying to learn too. So, but I just want people to know that's an elephant in the room. I know that that's the case. Okay. And so they're making sure the Bible comes true. And then the elect, who are the quote full scripters, the people that know the Bible from beginning to end, then they're also making sure that the Bible comes true, because the end times is governed by them being on the earth. Okay. If the elect are not on the earth, then the end times is not now. Okay. It's later or never. And so just know that. Okay. And so everybody is working towards the Bible being true. Okay. There's no reason why everybody who's a quote unquote Christian should not be simultaneously live streaming every day that they could in the times that we live in now. The whole YouTube should just be broken, okay, with the amount of people that are just pushing the Bible, because the Bible is like, you almost don't even need to read it. You just need to like watch the news, okay? It's like, it sounds bad to even say this, but it's almost more fun to watch the Bible come true in real life than read it, because it's like you get to see the movie, you know, because it's happening right in front of our eyes. So it's like the Bible to some extent is taking a back seat to like the reality, you know, and this is an amazing thing for us who have eyes to see that it's happening. And so you don't see that, okay? You see a lot of religious people who are actually slowing down. You can sense they're not as excited. Well, wait, why would that be? When we have this thing out, you know, and then we have that narrative which fulfills Bible prophecy, and then we have this out which also fulfills Bible prophecy in Job 9:24. That's strange, isn't it? Shouldn't all the religious people be like super excited? Wow, you know, the Savior is about to be here and all that kind of stuff. But in fact, you see them being like, oh, no, I don't think it is. No, I don't think you should take that literally. No, it's cool. Don't worry about that. That's not what the Bible's talking about. Job 9:24 is not talking about that. No. Try again and all that kind of stuff. So these are actors, okay? They're trying to rob us of the joy of being Bible literalists, because if you don't take the Bible literally on all those other verses, how can you take the salvation verses literally? God's going to be like, oh, no, but you didn't take those other verses literally. So why would I come and rescue you? Okay, that's what God will say. Oh, you don't care about a majority of the Bible, so why would I care about you? Okay, and so that's the judgment that we pronounce on the world. God's going to use that to measure us. Okay, and so my channel is for that few people who understand and appreciate the Bible from beginning to end. And it's like their air, okay? It's like their food, okay? All of it, the whole thing is being consumed, okay? And the Bible even says to one of the prophets in the last days that when you eat it, it's going to taste sweet, but when it's in your stomach, it's going to be bitter, okay? And this is the bitter, okay, that we're going through right now. But I guarantee you it's not going to last very long, okay? It can't, because the world is unstable for all these reasons, okay, that we see every single minute of the day. So everything is working towards the Bible being true. If you have people in your life who don't want to talk about, you know, the flat earth or this or anything like that, good, okay. The less people that want to talk about those things, the more likely the evil is going to continue to succeed. And so that's good, okay, great, good news, okay, because all we should want now is more and more evil, because guess what? That's what the Bible prophesies. And so that means that the God of the Bible is not a liar, okay? And so we should be cheering for more evil. And guess what? The Bible promises more evil, okay? If read Revelation 16, that's the last major amount of evil prior to the worldwide destruction, okay? So the more evil, great, okay, good. So you don't want to talk about righteous things, okay? If you're interacting with people in your family or work or whatever, we're like, okay, good, great, okay. So this is not going to get fixed at all, and so you know, let it keep on, okay. And then the Bible even says, let the unrighteous be unrighteous still, okay. Let the faithless continue to be faithless, okay. That doesn't mean we have to be faithless and stupid and all that kind of stuff. So that's what it is. So Shavites, hey, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Good to see Shavites, Jagnarth. ETT's like, all right, guys, this is it. I could not say it any better, dude. I feel bad for that guy, man. He should have stayed around to see this, man. He would have saw Bible prophecy right before his very eyes, man. He left too soon, man. The show is just getting started, so to speak. But you know, R.I.P. RM, man. And this is it. that should be the motto for everybody, okay? For all of us who are into the Bible, this is it. Okay, this is it. Okay, and if this is not it, guess what? The Bible's not true. So just move on to another religion, or you know, find some other worldview that you feel comfortable with. Because if this is not it, then the Bible is not it. Okay, look somewhere else for all of us. Okay, and so that's what's going on. Okay, because the Bible says, this is the amazing thing, and this is the next point I wanted to talk about, is that We know that we're in the last days because the evil is worldwide. Okay, that should be obvious. But most importantly, a small group of us know that God is behind it. Okay, and this is a rare time in human history where it could not be more obvious. Okay, the truths about hell, good and evil and all that, it's as plain as day. Okay, there's no interpretation needed at all. And then the funny thing about it is it offends a lot of other people, even religious people. Okay, so why is that? Unless they're set up by God to be part of the deceived and the deceiver. So that's why this is it. You know, it absolutely has to be it, or the Bible is not true. Okay, so it's an all or nothing, not for me and not for you. Okay, it's an all or nothing for the Bible, you know, because God is making bold claims in the Bible that he created everything, controls everything, and then he's the one who's behind the evil. Okay, and so now he has to follow through when me and lots of people worldwide, even possibly atheists, are asking, they don't like it here. Okay, I would not be surprised if you could find 20 million atheists who like, no, I don't want to be here. Maybe more. So that's light. Okay, I don't know, but you can find a lot. Okay, of people who don't even know God exists, but they know that this whole setup is completely messed up. Okay, and so that's the difference. Okay, and so when people come by here and try and rob me of that truth, you know, me and End Times Teacher and others were in a hangout recently. People come and try and rob that truth from us, but we know that it's obvious in the scriptures. We know that those people are set up to come and try and take away our crown, so to speak. And we're like, get the hell away from us. Okay, you know, literally get the hell away from us. Okay, because we're in hell. And so it's so obvious, you know. So that's why I love the Bible all the time, but in the times that we live in now, you know, don't be offended or ashamed, sorry, of loving the scriptures, you know, and then the God of it, you know, of course, don't be ashamed of that. Okay, because the truth of it is so obvious, you know, and then that's an act of mercy, you know. Then there's something unique about us. Why is the few of us that come by here, when the Bible gets brought out, we don't get angry? Okay, we don't start, you know, that no, it doesn't say that. No, don't take that literally. No, it's not. The earth isn't flat. No, it's not. The Bible isn't right about that. Why is it? Why are we different than the other people? Okay, because God has made this good news for us. Okay, and it's horrible news for other people. Okay, so just walk with that understanding and walk carefully. You know, me too. So we got to be careful. So that's one of the many, many reasons why we know we're in the last days, because God's elect know the full Bible now, if I'm in that group. And then also we know that God's behind the evil. So we're asking to be rescued from the evil that our Father is bringing upon us. And we're like, time out. Okay, whatever I did to upset you, to do that, to get deceived and all that, I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, that's what we're saying. Okay, and we're asking God. Okay, we're not asking Biden. Okay, or any whatever, you know, country you live in. We don't care, because those people are just actors. Okay, and they're terrible actors. Okay, so that's why it's all or nothing. Okay, again, don't follow my timeline if that's too aggressive for you, but it's in that order. Okay, it's not like, you know, way down the road or anything like that, or else the Bible is not true. Okay, because God said he's behind the evil, and he's making the evil ridiculous. To the point where even like atheists know that this whole thing is not meant to be for our health, okay, and our well-being. So I'm going to read 2 Esdras 9, and then, you know, I'll just read up to, you know, 25, and then, you know, I'll read Wisdom 15, and then, you know, I'll take questions or whatever, and then just, you know, just kind of see if people are around, that kind of thing. So 2 Esdras 9, I'll read this in the NRSV. The reason I don't really need to read things in the King James anymore, and I don't say this to be arrogant, but there's no deception anymore, okay? Because, first of all, the King James is sometimes difficult to read and understand what it's saying, but because of my sequence videos, I know the sequence of the end times, okay, and it's everywhere in the Bible. So the translation is there's no deception anymore, because it's clear what the Bible is saying. So again, you know, I'm not saying that to be arrogant, but I would just say read whatever translation you feel comfortable with reading, and it's just kind of easier on the tongue to read in these more modern translations. 2 Esdras 9:1, he answered me and said, measure carefully in your mind, and when you see that some of the predicted signs have occurred, then you will know that it is the very time when the Most High is about to visit the world that he has made. Look at it, says, see some of the predicted signs. Okay. And so there's a group that are not going to see the full thing because they avoid the wrath of God. Okay. And obviously Esdras is part of God's elect. Like I'll read this again. Then you will know that it is the very time when the Most High is about to visit the world that he has made. So when there shall appear in the world earthquakes, tumults of people, intrigues of nations, wavering of leaders, confusion of princes. How is Biden not an example of a confusion of a prince? Okay. I mean, that could not be the most literal fulfillment of that. Then you will know that it was of these that the Most High spoke from the days that were of old, from the beginning. For just as with everything that has occurred in the world, the beginning is evident and the end manifest. So the people of the Bible know that God exists. It's obvious to them. Okay. It's causal. Okay. You don't just have a random beginning to the earth. Okay. Like it says here, that it's obvious that there was a beginning, and then there should be obvious, just as obvious that there's an end. Okay. It doesn't just go on forever. Okay. For just as with everything that has occurred in the world, the beginning is evident and the end manifest. Okay. When we see these signs, the beginning of them. So also are the times of the Most High. The beginnings are manifest in wonders and mighty works, and the end in penalties and in signs. So essentially at the beginning, God was trying to, get people, to believe in him, Christ and his miracles, like it says here, mighty works. Okay. But in the end, it's all going to be judgment, penalties, and in signs. Okay. When the two witnesses are here on this earth, Moses and Elijah, they're not going to be healing people. And that's not going to be the focus of their ministry. They may be able to help God's right-hand side, but their job is to go in and administer those plagues in Revelation 16. Okay. They're not going to be trying to get a big following, and all that kind of stuff. And, have a popularity contest or anything like that. It's all going to be about the wrath that they're administering. And then that's why Revelation 11 describes them that way. That's why they're given that kind of power to administer plagues. Okay. Verse 7, it shall be that all who will be saved and will be able to escape on account of, listen here, of their works. Okay. Or on account of the faith by which they have believed, will survive the dangers that have been predicted, and will see my salvation in my land. In whose land? In God's land. Look at this. Salvation in my land. Okay, how many people, when you walk around, say, oh, I own this. Oh, this is my house. This is my land, and all that kind of stuff. How many people, unless they're religious, will say, this is God's land? Okay. This house is built on God's land. Okay. The God owns that cattle and all that. How many people talk like that? Okay. Only technically the Israelites will talk like that. So just know that. Let me read this again. Will survive the dangers that have been predicted, and will see my salvation in my land and within my borders. Okay. Which also is kind of inferring a flat earth. Okay. That there's a limit. Okay. To this land, which I have sanctified for myself from the beginning. So these people are predetermined. There's no jockeying to be in it or out of it. Okay. Then those who have now abused my ways shall be amazed. They're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, God owns this stuff. Okay. That's what they're going to say. And those who have rejected them with contempt shall live in torments. Okay. For as many as did not acknowledge me in their lifetime, though they receive my benefits. Okay. How many people will acknowledge that God provides for them every day? Okay. How many people on this earth will say that? And as many as scorned my law while they still had freedom and did not understand, but despised it, while an opportunity of repentance was still open to them. Okay. These must in torment acknowledge it after death. Okay. So they're going to die. Okay. And then they're going to realize, oh, God exists. Okay. And so just know that that's in verse 12. Okay. And so for the numerology, right, this is 2 Esdras 9. If you rotate the 9, you get a 6, and this is in verse 12. Okay. So that's 666. These must in torment acknowledge it after death. Okay, that's everybody with the mark of the beast. Therefore, do not continue to be curious about how the ungodly will be punished, but inquire how the righteous will be saved. Those to whom the age belongs, and for those whose sake the age was made. Okay, so that's what we should focus on in the times that we live in now. I say that confidently. Let me read that again. Therefore, do not continue to be curious about how the ungodly will be punished, but inquire how the righteous will be saved. Okay. So salvation should be the only thing that we're genuinely concerned about, because everybody that's destroyed, they're actors, okay? And they're part of this beast system. So who cares, okay? They're not even going to exist after that. Body and soul is going to be destroyed. So God's like, don't worry about them, okay? Look to something better, okay? A better land, and all that, and a better leadership, okay, with Christ, okay? And so just know that. This Bible is horrible news for a majority of this earth. Okay. And we're going to read that here. I answered and said, I said before, and I say now, and will say it again, there are more who perish. Listen to this. There are more who perish than those who will be saved. Okay. As a wave is greater than a drop of water. So the Esdras here is telling us that think of salvation as a drop and think of everybody perishing as a wave. Okay. Think about that. Okay. You could probably come up with the math on that, and that's exactly how many people are on God's right-hand side versus his left-hand side. If you took the volume of a drop and took the volume of a wave, whatever that would be, then that's, you know, a lot of the Bible is literal. You know, God doesn't expect anybody to go and calculate these things, but just know that, okay? This is what we're being told. So you're not going to be able to go and find other people, definitely not on YouTube, and find other people who are going to be saved. How would you do that? Okay. When it says here, it's a wave. Imagine a droplet in a wave. How is the drop going to go and search the whole wave and look for other people that are going to be saved? How is that possible? Okay. The wave would just overwhelm the drop. Okay. And that's the whole point of it. Okay. It's very, 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 very few people. Verse 17, he answered me and said, as in the field, so is the seed. And as for the flower, so are the colors. And as is the work, so is the product. And as is the farmer, so is the threshing floor. Okay. For there was a time in this age when I was preparing for those who now exist, before the world was made for them to live in, and no one opposed me then, for no one existed. But now those who have been created in this world, which is supplied both with an unfailing table and an inexhaustible pasture, have become corrupt in their ways. Okay, and that's the times that we live in now. It's always been that way. So I considered my world, listen to this, so I considered my world, okay, and saw that it was lost. I saw that the earth was in peril, because of the devices of those who had come into it. And I saw and spared some with great difficulty and saved for myself, listen to this, for one grape out of a cluster and one plant out of a great forest. Okay. Think about a forest. Okay. And then look at a plant. Could you even see that from the sky? If you're looking down on this earth, this flat earth, you just see the big forest. So when God looks down on this earth, he just sees a bunch of reprobates. Okay. Just degenerates everywhere. Okay. But the angels know where to look for that plant, okay, or the drop in the wave and all that kind of stuff, okay? So people that come by here, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but read the Bible, okay? Don't walk around and start worrying about what's in this and who's like, what is going to happen to this person and all that kind of stuff. You don't even know what the Bible's saying, okay? So why don't you first know what the Bible says, and then you'll know, oh my gosh, hopefully I'm one of them. That's all you will hope. You just hope to God, literally, that I'm that drop in that wave. And then that's it. Okay. You're not going to go find anybody else. You're not going to go and persuade people and all this kind of stuff. All my channel is ultimately is to demonstrate that I'm not deceived. Okay. And then it offends a lot of people. Okay. That's the whole point of this, and to pass the time, you know, and then to be, you know, hopefully encouraged by other people who think similarly. Okay. That's it. Okay. I'm not saving anybody here, and none of you people can save me. Okay. So just know that, you know, and then take comfort in that, you know. God is going to identify his right-hand side with angels, okay, and torment his left-hand side. And we can't wait for that. Okay, so verse 22, so let the multitude perish that have been born in vain. Listen to this. But let my grape and my plant be saved, because with much labor I have perfected them, okay. It's in verse 22. That's here on this earth, okay. And so let the multitude perish, okay. God's like, who cares? Okay. And it's not wrong to say that. It's never wrong to say that. If anybody does not get comforted by the Bible and the God of it, the creator of this, being the author of the left and right-hand side, if that doesn't genuinely bring you comfort, bye. Okay. We don't want to be around you, because then God, if he's in charge in the kingdom more explicitly here, you know, through Christ, then you're not going to like him either. Okay. And then we're not going to sit there and convince you to listen to what he says. Get them out. Get those people out of here, okay? And they're not even going to be there, so don't worry. But we're not in that position where we have to persuade people, okay? If they're not with the program at this point, just avoid them, okay? Bye, that kind of thing. Verse 23, now if you let 7 days more pass, do not, however, fast during them, but go into a field of flowers where no house has been built, and eat only the flowers of the field, and taste no meat, and drink no wine, but eat only flowers, and pray to the Most High continually. Then I will come and talk with you, okay? Why does God say those kind of things? Okay. Why is he telling Esdras here to eat that way? Because he knows that Esdras is going to listen. Okay. And so that's the way it is. Okay. God will tell us lots of things throughout the Bible, and he wants to see who's going to listen. Okay. And then Esdras was deemed worthy to receive this revelation. Okay. Because if you read the books of Esdras, he actually cares about people. Okay. Unlike the disgusting people we have in the truth community who are a bunch of like corporate religious people. Okay. Let me take the quote unquote truth and go and turn around and try and sell it. Okay. Sell masks and all this kind of nonsense. Okay. Like Dikun Sakari and his sidekick Facade. Okay. And all these kind of people. Are you kidding me? Then they have the gall to come around here and try and tell us that they're the two witnesses. Okay. Which are the two most righteous spirits next to Christ ever in human history. Okay. Are you kidding me? That's absolutely ridiculous. That's why the world is completely unstable. Okay. Because the people deep into the Bible are mentally deranged, okay? And then they go and insert themselves into the most esteemed positions that require an incredible amount of righteousness, okay? To be next to Christ, that close to Christ, and then to do the things that he's telling them to do in Revelation 11 and then Revelation 16, okay? That's absolutely absurd, okay? If anybody believes that in the times that we live in now, that's crazy. And so that's insane, okay? The Most High here is talking to Esdras. Why? Because Esdras is righteous. Okay. Most High tells him to do this. Eat only the flowers of the field and taste no meat. Guess what Esdras did? He did those things. Okay. That's what he did. Okay. Because that's what God told him to do. So just know that. Okay. And I would highly recommend for people, read Tobit, read these other books, Judith, then all that. Those are Israelites. Okay. And then do you think God's going to be like, you know what? I really enjoy, interacting with Esdras, Daniel, John the Baptist, and all these people. But in the last days, I really enjoy interacting with a bunch of demons. Okay. That I'm going to remix it in the last days. You know what I mean? I don't really like hanging around Esdras. He's too righteous. He cares about people. I don't like that. I'm going to go and prophesy through Tahar, who's an animal, and then the Dikun and Facade and all these urban gorilla. Okay. And all these Masons. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, that I'm going to remix it in the last days. Okay, anybody who believes that, you're mentally deranged. Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous if anybody believes that. So I want people to not be confused. Okay, because like I said, my channel is the whole point of it is to ultimately demonstrate that that I'm not confused. Okay, and so take what you want from that. Okay, because I'm not stupid. Okay, I'm not that gullible. I've already been duped by the Christian church, and I'm not going down that road again. So, join me if you want. It's fun. So I'm going to read a chapter from Wisdom of Solomon. This is in the Apocrypha. Again, I'd highly recommend, I can't say this enough, for people to, read the Apocrypha. It's good. And if you have questions about it or want me to respond to something even offline or whatever, just, reach out to me, for sure. I'm going to read this verse as well. I'm going to read this verse, which is kind of in line with that. I think ETT is putting a verse like that too. I'll read this one as well that he put in the chat because it kind of goes along with that. Guess what? Big shocker. The Bible's consistent. Okay. It's not a big shocker. Okay. It's the same God. And he's brilliant. Okay. 2nd Ezra 6:56. Okay. And as for the other people which also come out of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing. Nothing. Okay. But be like unto spittle, and hath likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. It's like you drop it and you just move on. You don't even know that you dropped it. You just move on. Okay. You don't care. Okay. And so big shocker that the God of the Bible is consistent in that verse. And then in the one that I'm about to read that I think ETT is bringing out too, it's the same. Okay. This is an important one to understand. Isaiah 28:10, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. And so what God is saying with that is that the entire Bible is not going to be inconsistent. You're going to be able to go to every verse in the Bible and it's going to make sense. Okay. It's God's not going to just make up a bunch of random stuff and then have people in different generations just say a bunch of stupid things. Okay. That's not the way it works. Nobody on this earth would take the God of the Bible seriously if he spoke through brain dead people throughout the generations and be like, oh, Daniel said one thing. Oh yeah, but Esdras told me something else. Okay, yeah, but then in Zechariah he's saying something else. Zephaniah he's saying something else. What's going on? No one would take the Bible seriously. Okay, if the Bible says that the earth doesn't move and then we see that the earth is moving, why would anybody read the Bible? And be like, look at this God. Like this is stupid. Okay, this God is mentally deranged. Okay, and so just know that. Okay. This is the amazing thing about the Bible is that literally a majority of the Bible is literal. That's one of the secrets to actually unlocking it, is that it's actually true. Okay. I don't know how to say that any other way. The Bible is actually true. Okay. Wow. Oh man. So we can read these verses and be like, they're real. Okay. It's amazing. So Isaiah 40:15, behold, the nations are like a drop from a bucket and are accounted as the dust on the scales. Okay. Now you have dust on the scales. You don't measure what that is. Okay. The scale doesn't even recognize that it's there. Okay. Behold, he takes up the coastlands like fine dust. So for God to destroy this earth and just, incinerate it, it's not a big deal for him. Okay. But he doesn't want to do it until his right-hand side is removed. Okay. In particular, his elect. Okay. And so just know that. Okay. So it's an amazing thing, okay, that God can make this earth how big it is. We actually technically don't even know, and it's like a joke, okay. He just tells it to appear, okay, and then the earth will appear. So if God can do that, what else has he done? Okay, what else is he going to do? What else has he already planned to do for those that love him? Okay, that's what we're waiting for. That's an amazing thing, and then hopefully we're in that group. And it's a lot better than what these ding-dongs can do here on Earth, who can't even figure out this narrative. Okay, they don't even know what's going on. Their numbers are all jacked up, and they're making up stuff left and right and all that kind of stuff. That's crazy. Okay, John 17:9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world. Okay, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. Wait, I thought God died for the sins of the world. It says here, I pray not for the world. What's that all about? So we got to read the Bible like End Times Teacher brought out in that other verse, here a little, there a little, okay? The world that's being talked about in John 3:16 is the elect, okay? And the mixed multitude, okay? That give up their life, to express their faith in God in the Great Tribulation, okay? And so then it's not that many people. That's what we've been reading I've been reading in these verses and what he's bringing out in the chat. It's not many people, okay? And we want to be a part of that group. And so if your family or your friends or your significant other, they're not down with it, who cares? Okay, bye, that kind of thing. What other options do you have? Okay, what are they going to go and do in this world? Okay, what's this world going to offer them? 100 more of these? Okay, and for quote unquote for free. Oh, even it's our own money that's providing that kind of stuff. Okay, so laugh at those people, man. They're stupid. And it's not wrong to say that, okay? You don't have to say it to their face because they're obviously not going to like it. But just know that, okay? It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to, get on the right team, so to speak, okay? Wisdom 15, okay? And we're going to read here, Benefits of Worshiping the True God. That's the title of this, okay? Wisdom of Solomon 15:1. But you, our God, are kind and true, okay? Patient and ruling all things in mercy. Okay, let me read that in. That's powerful. But you are God, okay, are kind and true, patient and ruling all things. What does that mean? What does that word mean? All things, okay, in mercy, okay. For even if we sin, we are yours, knowing your power, okay. But we will not sin because we know that you acknowledge us as yours, okay. So God's people, they genuinely want to do the law, okay. It's built into us, okay. And we complain because we can't even do some of it. Okay. And if we even talk about the law, people get angry. Okay. That's what we're complaining about. Okay. We're like, wait a minute. Bible says all these different things. Okay. Even when we talk about it, this gets shut down, and then other Christians will come and attack us, much less the government and then the rulers and all that. They'd be like, no, hell no. Okay. So that's what's going on. Okay. That's why we're crying louder and louder every day. Because we know that, like it says in the verse 1, that if God were in charge of this place, what would be the principles? Okay, it would be kindness and truth. Okay, patience and mercy. Okay, because that's what it says right in the first verse. Where is that in the world? Okay, you'd have to be mentally deranged to not want this God to be leading this earth right now. I'm talking right while this live stream's happening. Why would anybody not want that? Okay, What, you would prefer Biden lead? Okay. Or Trump to come back and, do the stuff or whatever. Are you kidding me? Okay. That's why people who come by here and talk about Christ, we don't know the day or hour. Okay. But we know the time period. Okay. We know the time period. Okay. And it's not far away. Okay. If I have anything involvement in that. Okay. It's not funny, but and you should all want that. Okay. What's God going to do? He's going to come and just mess up your house. Okay. I'm just going to, I'm going to leave writing on the walls and I'm going to put graffiti on your house. And what's he going to do? Come and say something stupid to you? He's going to bring disgusting food that are like GMOs and just garbage to your door. Are you kidding me? Okay. That's crazy. Okay. That's what this world's going to do. Okay. And then for you pigs that want to hang around here longer, enjoy it. You're stupid. Okay. Verse 3, for to know you is complete righteousness, okay? And to know your power is the root of immortality. Wow, okay? So the only God out there that can offer immortality is the God of this Bible, okay? According to this verse and all the verses in the Bible, really. For neither has the evil intent of human art misled us, okay? Nor the fruitless toil of painters, a figure stained with varied colors whose appearance arouses yearning in fools, okay? So that they desire the lifeless form of a dead image, okay? You have people who will sell their soul for a hot dog. Okay. Are you kidding me? For a freaking Coke and a hot dog and a ticket to a baseball game. Okay. These people are sick. Verse 8, lovers of evil things and fit for such objects of hope are those who either make or desire or worship them. So God's like, I'm going to give them something to worship that is fitting for how stupid they are. Okay. That's what it's saying here. Okay. And so if they're dumb enough to worship a dead image, I'm going to give them death. Okay. That's what it's saying here. Okay. And then who cares? And that's in verse 6. Verse 7. Okay. A potter needs the soft earth, kneading as in molding it. Okay. And laboriously molds each vessel for our service. Okay. So God is again going to tell us here many, many places that he's behind the good and the evil. So pay attention to this. And laboriously molds each vessel for our services, fashioning out the same clay, both the vessels that serve clean uses and those for contrary uses, okay? Making all alike, like the wheat and the tares. It's hard to tell the difference, okay? It's obvious in these days, but God makes good and evil, okay? He makes the evil side and the righteous side, who's led by Christ, okay? But which shall be the use of each of them, the worker in clay decides, okay? God decides, okay? Not you and not me, okay? The truth community is loaded with retards. Okay, what do they know? Okay, what are they going to figure out or anything like that? They barely have any idea where they are. Okay, so God is behind all of this. Okay, and I want people to take comfort in that because it's true. Verse 8, with misspent toil, these workers form a futile god from the same clay. Okay, these mortals who are made of earth a short time before and after a little while go to the earth from which all mortals are taken, when the time comes to return the souls that were borrowed. Okay, let me read that again for people who don't understand. Okay, when the time comes to return the souls that were borrowed. Who do they borrow that soul from? The Most High. Okay, because in Ecclesiastes 12:7, we're told that all souls return back to God. Okay, and then the dust returns to the earth. I'll get that verse. So, there's going to be people who are going to come by and rob you of these truths, okay? Because they're part of these borrowed souls that are in charge of doing evil, okay? Ecclesiastes 12:7, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was. That's what we just read. And the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. And so that precept coupled with this, coupled with lots of other ones, tell us that it goes back to God. And so guess who's behind the evil? God is, okay, on the macro level. So just because God is doing that on his left-hand side, does that mean we, if we're on his right-hand side, do more and more evil? Of course not, okay? We do the opposite of what those retards do. Whatever they're doing, do the complete opposite. You'll probably be in good shape. I'll read that again. When the time comes to return the souls that were borrowed, okay? But the workers are not concerned that mortals are destined to die or that their life is brief, but they compete with workers in gold and silver. So they're like, I don't even care that I'm going to die at some point. I'm just going to go and chase this cheddar, so to speak, okay? How many Bitcoins do you have? Or whatever this nonsense is, the next stupid thing that they come out with. These retards don't realize that they're going to die and then their soul goes back to God. And they're just going to keep competing, like it says here, for gold and silver, okay? Like they're going to take that with them and do whatever. and like it says here, and imitate workers in copper. And they count it a glorious thing to mold counterfeit gods. Okay. And the number of counterfeit gods on this earth right now, I mean, I could run a live stream for 12 hours straight. Okay. Like our friend Tony can, and just talk about counterfeit gods. Okay. Nonstop. You know, I wouldn't even have to get up. Okay. It's just absurd. Verse 10, their heart is ashes. Their hope is cheaper than dirt. Okay. And their lives are of less worth than clay. God hates these people. Okay. And we just don't want to be a part of that. Okay. So if we know that there's a lot of people on this earth who are degenerates, do we go and hang around them? Be like, oh yeah, take them seriously? No, we're like, you're stupid. Okay. Like in our mind, we don't have to go and associate with them. Be like, you're God. The God of the Bible views you as like dirt. Okay. Like it says here, less worth than clay. Okay. Because they failed to know the one who formed them. Okay. So that should be obvious to people who are flat earthers, you know, that we were made by God and inspired them. Like it says here, look at, and inspired them with active souls. Okay. And breathed the living spirit into them. Who did that? Did your parents do that? Did our parents do that? They don't even know what a soul is. Okay. Some parents don't even know how to spell the word soul. Okay. They'll probably spell it S-O-L-E or something. They're just stupid. Okay. And so God did that. Okay, so give him credit for that. Verse 15, but they considered our existence an idle game and life a festival held for profit. Okay, let me read that again. And they considered our existence an idle game and life a festival held for profit. How does that not describe the mantra of this world? Okay, a big festival, a big rainbow parade. People know what I'm talking about. Talk about rainbow, okay? Held for profit. That's all people care about. Okay. Where's the discussion on the poor, you know, and righteousness, you know, and then why we're here. Okay. What is our purpose for being here? Okay. And all that kind of stuff. Is our purpose to be enslaved by a bunch of demons? Of course not. So that's in verse 12. Okay. 6:6. For they say one must get money, however one can, even by base means. Okay. You have to be a degenerate. That's what it means. When you lower yourself to these base means, the Bible's saying those people are degenerates. Okay. They'll do anything for money. They'll do a lot of things for a hot dog. Okay. And then if you supersize their drink, who knows what they'll do. Okay. They'll do anything. They're stupid people. Verse 13, for these persons more than all others know that they sin when they make from earthly matter fragile vessels and carved images. Okay. And in modern day, that may not be like a statue that they're worshiping. It might be their car. Okay. It might be like their TV. It might be their phone. It might be whatever it is. Okay. That they look at with value or whatever. And then that's their idol. Okay. Or this. Okay. That's an idol for that person. Okay. Because they're looking at that as their quote unquote God. This is a metaphor for salvation. Okay. Because those people that do that, they're using that to prolong their life, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But the Bible says Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. So only he can provide life, not this. Okay. So that's a form of an idol. Okay. And that's a man-made invention. Okay. And so just know that. Okay. And that's what's going on right now. Hopefully that's very obvious. Fragile vessels. Okay. And carved images. Verse 14, but most foolish and more miserable than an infant are all the enemies who oppressed your people. Okay. Verse 15, when they thought that all their heathen idols were gods, though these have neither the use of their eyes to see, nor nostrils with which to breathe, nor ears with which to hear, nor fingers to feel with, and their feet are of no use for walking. So God's like, and we've all done this in the past, but there are people out there who are worshiping things that are lower than themselves. Okay. We're worshiping like inanimate objects. Okay. And we've all done this and we don't need to do this anymore. God's like, you're stupid. Okay. At least worship something that's like smarter than you. Okay. Like another person who's, and again, I'm not saying to do this, but like at least go and find somebody smarter than you. Okay. Or something like that. Okay. That doesn't make any sense, you know, to like worship a car or your house or something like that, which like it says here, they have no fingers to feel, no ears to even hear. Okay. For a human being made them, and one whose spirit is borrowed formed them. Okay. Again, it's borrowed by God. Okay. Borrowed. Okay. Temporary. For none can form gods that are like themselves. Okay. People are mortal, and what they make with lawless hands is dead. Okay. For they are better than the objects they worship. Okay. So God's like, don't be stupid. Okay. All of us are dumb when we've done that. Another one for me actually in the past is education. Okay. These quote unquote degrees. Okay. Which is like a disease. Okay. Is a better way to say it. Or what End Times teacher likes to say, cemetery school. Okay. It's deaf. Okay, that's exactly what the Bible says it is. If you go to one of those cemetery schools, okay, it's that's another form of worship that me, TMoG, I've worshipped. I've trusted that, you know, throughout my life. Okay, and then great is the fall when you do that. Okay, thankfully I've been able to, you know, shake the dust off and all that, and have time to get out of that and realize that that's an incredible deception, you know, to think that that's of any value. Okay, I'm not saying God can't redeem that. Of course he can, you know, education and then all that kind of stuff, you know, to teach people and all that. It's good, but I made it just for people to know into an idol, you know, throughout my life, and like I was obsessed about it. Okay, and that's not what God wants. I'll read 17. People are mortal, and what they make with lawless hands is dead. Okay, for they are better than the objects they worship. So me worshiping a piece of paper is stupid. Okay, what's this paper going to do? Start talking to me, you know, teach me things and all that kind of stuff is dumb. Okay, for they are better than the objects they worship, since they have life, but the idols never had. Okay, verse 18. Moreover, they worship even the most hateful animals. Okay, and in the last days, this is in verse 18. Okay, 666, which is the beast system in the last days. Okay, these verses are in this position on purpose. Okay, the Bible doesn't just randomly fall into place. Okay, which are worse than all others when judged by their lack of intelligence. Okay, how is that not what's happening in the last days? Okay, you can have people who have just a basic education know that this whole narrative is completely fraudulent. Okay, and is not an intelligent way to go about dealing with any kind of sickness. Okay, and so like it says here, which are worse than all others when judged by their lack of intelligence. Okay, and so God does not require his people to be stupid. Okay, that's not like a prerequisite to get into the kingdom. In fact, it's going to get you destroyed prior to the kingdom. And this is in verse 18, 666. Okay, so for all of us, don't be stupid. Okay, and if you don't know, just say you don't know. Okay, what's God going to do? Get mad? Oh, you don't know? Like God is like, oh, you know, well, what are you going to teach me? Is that what God's going to say? Oh, you're just stupid. You're not going to teach. What does God need? Okay, for us to teach him things? Okay, it's okay to just say you don't know, and for people to just shut up. Okay, it's not wrong. And for me too, just we don't have to get past. The only reason I'm saying this passionately is get past all that thinking. You just make up stuff. Okay, all we have to do is just wait. Okay, for God to appear. Okay, and then we ask him. We want to just be with him. Okay, we don't want to be here. Okay, so what's God going to do? Oh, I really want to be with God. God's like, no, sorry. I don't want you to hang around with me. Why would he say that? Okay, if we're genuinely want to be with God. Okay, what, he doesn't have enough room? Okay, or anything like that? I'll bring out a verse to end this. God has lots of room. Okay, don't worry about that. But don't be stupid. Okay, don't make up stuff. Don't lie. Don't come here and lie on my comment board and get me like you're just gonna lie and make yourself look stupid. Okay, so don't lie and make up stuff. Okay, I'm going to point out how stupid you are. Okay, because I don't want to be judged by my lack of intelligence. Okay, and so you can just say whatever. Okay, just hold your peace. Okay, and then that kind of thing is God's not going to be angry. Okay, and so that's another reason why I get a little bit irritated with people when they come by here and they comment little things about my video, little like dotting the I's, crossing the T's. They don't watch any of my sequence videos, and then they're 120 some videos. And I don't want to be incorrect with that because then I'll be judged if those are wrong, but they don't give a lick about any of those. Okay, but they have all these other stupid comments about masonry and all this stupid nonsense and just running their mouth about nothing. Okay, and so that's why I get irritated. So you're not adding to the intelligence of this channel. Okay, and if you don't have anything to add, I don't care. Okay, just you know, learn it and then watch what happens. Okay, it's not a big deal. Okay, I don't think there's really that much to add anyway. But all I'm trying to say is like, don't fake it till you make it. Okay, because we've all done that. Okay, I've been a part of that system a lot. Okay, like I said, where I've seen it, especially in the corporate world, just like make up stuff. Okay, then you start lying. Okay, and then don't do that. Okay, it's not going to benefit you at all. And even as animals, they are not so beautiful in appearance that one would desire them, but they have escaped both the praise and God and his blessing. Okay, so why would we do that? Okay, all of us, I'm speaking to myself, just don't do that. Okay, and God doesn't need us to know everything. Okay, he knows everything, and that's not going to change. Okay, he just needs us to be humble and then genuinely want to be in his presence. Okay, it's not really that hard. Okay. And I'll bring out this verse. Okay, God has a lot of room. Okay, it's a very famous one. He's not running low on space, okay? Like these bird brains that run this stupid setup here on this earth, okay? John 14:2, okay? In my Father's house are many mansions, okay? If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, okay? Find another God anywhere who will go and prepare a place for the people that they're serving, okay? Everybody else here, the kings, what happens with those kings? Their servants go and prepare a place for the king, right? That's the way it works on this earth, right? You know, if you have a servant and all that, you know, they prepare the meal for you, and then maybe at the end of it, they'll get served themselves. Maybe, okay, possibly. And then they'll get paid 2 weeks later, a month later, okay, the satanic system. Okay, what's the God of the Bible is very different, isn't it? Okay, it's got lots of room, okay? He's invited the poor, you know, and all that, and guess what he does? He goes and prepares a place himself, okay? So you can only imagine what that is. So, and we can only imagine what that is. So, you know, just know that, okay? So this is the times that we're living in now, okay? This is an amazing thing. Yeah, I'm just going to wrap up here, ETT, pretty much. For people out there, I quote this verse a lot, okay? I'm going to end on Revelation 18:4, okay? Revelation 18:4 says, and I heard another voice from heaven, okay? This voice is not coming from me, okay, or your significant other or your kids or your parents or anything, definitely not your boss, okay? And I heard another voice from heaven, okay, saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins and ye not receive of her plagues, okay? And so that's the voice that we should listen to, okay? That's important. So just know that once you listen to that voice, once you listen to the voice upwards, everybody around you is going to get annoyed. Okay, you're going to have trolls. You're going to have all these people. Oh, you don't want to like, you know, listen to us anymore or anything like that. Okay, all that nonsense. They're going to get angry. Okay, and that kind of thing. So, just know that. And who cares? Okay, because again, a majority of this world hates God. Okay. So just laugh. That's what I would say. Just laugh at those people. Okay. If anybody out there is not looking towards heaven, at least a little bit in the times that we live in now, you're mentally deranged. Okay. You're out of your mind. Okay. And so who cares if your family doesn't like that or whatever. Okay. Okay, dude, we got Biggie Smalls, End Times Teacher. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me, man?
Yes, I can. What's up, dude?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. Actually, excuse the background noise, man. I'm actually walking over a bridge right now. I'm actually walking over the Delaware right now. So I'm just going to my little spot where I can sit down. So it might take me 5 minutes to get there. But hey, man, I was trying to join a little earlier, man, but I had to handle a situation, you know, real quickly. But hey, man, you know, it's good to be on the show, man. And I was just I'm just looking at this water here next to me, man. You know, it's crazy because, matter of fact, let me see. You can see me here. I don't know if I can turn the thing around, but I can show. You might be able to see it, but that's crazy cool. Because the water is pretty much still, man. And you know, it's crazy to think it's not curving. That, you know, they say, go ahead.
I just said it's not curving.
No, it's it's crazy because they say the Earth is you know, spinning 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But here it is, the water's sitting completely still, man. I mean, I could throw a damn stone in here, and there'd be damn ripples going, you know, to both sides of the river, man. So you know, it's crazy, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think water is probably the strongest like visual for people because water bending is just it's impossible to figure out how it would do that. So I think a lot of people, obviously the lack of spin is important, but I think people just look at water bodies and then they're just like, you know, what else could it be kind of thing. So.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, and that's one of the biggest things, man, you know, it really puts a nail in the coffin on the whole, you know, globe world is because there can never be an experiment that can be done that can demonstrate, you know, how water can curve. Now, I've seen what some people did is they said, well, what about raindrops? See, water curves then. What are your thoughts on that?
I just think it's funny. I was going to ask you, actually, do you have that many trolls that come by about the ball earth? Because I know that every time you post a video, you get dislikes and it's always them. But I don't really have many ball earthers come by anymore. Maybe it's because I don't really do that much flat earth. But I also think a lot of people actually know now that it's flat. So I think some of them in the background, I think they've been converted, you know, to the flat stationary earth. But just that argument itself proves that the earth is flat, because that's stupid. It's like, if you have all this technology, and we talked about this in a recent hangout. Okay, if all these people believe that they have all this technology and all that stuff, but then they come and tell us that the earth is a ball because a water droplet has curves on it. I mean, I don't know what to say, dude. Like, we have no choice but to be flat earthers, if that's the argument, right?
Right. Now, the answer, you know, what you asked me first is that, you know, once in a while you get, you know, a good argument in the chat. Like, if you post, you know, a video within the first hour, you usually get a couple people that come on and try to, you know, debate you on that. But other than that, it's relatively rare. Maybe it happens once or twice a week. Yeah. That somebody will out of the blue come up and challenge you on the on that particular teaching. Yeah.
But you don't see that much, like people going back and forth with you and saying you're just like a dumb flat earther or stuff like that, or?
Oh, it happens, but nowhere near, you know, how it was, say, 4 years ago or whatever. Yeah. Nowhere near that today.
Yeah. Dude, maybe the ball earth died with RM, dude, our buddy. You know, this is it. Maybe they died at the same time. I don't know, because it's I don't really see it that much, dude. So in the chat, I just wrote RIP ball earth and RM. So people who know what I'm talking about RM. But yeah, it's a powerful truth, man. You know, hopefully Ridge, I think Ridge is maybe he's here in the chat or listening, but yeah, hopefully those
Ridge, if you're on Ridge, go ahead and hit that link, that fresh link in the chat. But I just wanted to say a few things, man. Yeah. About our friend, what's that cat? You know, good servant, man. I don't know if you saw what happened, but basically his stream he was doing today, he actually blocked me on it when I went on there. And I was trying to have a conversation with him. Yeah. And he was basically talking about, you know, our show we did. I believe it was last night we did a show. And he was going over that. He was saying, well, see, these guys, you know, have such satanic, you know, doctrines and teachings. We can't be around these guys. So I asked the brothers, like, okay, well, brother, if you disagree, well, why can't we both just get on the show, and why can't we just have a little talk about it? Yeah. And we asked him that 10 times, and he still won't do it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, dude, he knows that they're not allowed to talk about those kind of verses. But for people who know, that's good servant. I call him bad serpent, by the way. But yeah, he's not into that kind of stuff, and his job is essentially to be a Bible non-literalist. Okay, so he's essentially what I call a bridge to the 501c3 church. He genuinely believes that a majority of the 501c3 church is going to be quote unquote raptured. Okay, whenever that rapture is. Okay, you and I find that funny. Okay, so that's crazy. Okay, so he knows that you and I, because we have some influence by the Hebrew Israelites, we don't bring that nonsense. Okay, and we can prove it, you know, in the Bible. We're not just making it up. So
make that statement again, man. What was the topic that he don't like? I was taking a sip of water. So
he's on the side, just from the conversations I've had with him in the past, that he believes like a majority of the Christian church will still be saved, even if they're not flat earthers. Okay, like whatever truth they're in, it doesn't matter, basically. Like, so he's thinking like, you know, as a 501c3 Christian. And I'm like, how can the whole church be saved when there's whatever 2 billion of them? How can the whole church be raptured? Okay, like that's crazy just to think that, because of all the verses that I just read today and everywhere in the Bible, that it's a drop in the ocean. Okay, so that's one of the many, many problems, you know, that you'll bring to him in those conversations, and he'll be like, he won't understand, you know.
Right. And you know, and as I said, you know, all we did was try to invite the brother on to have a civilized talk, right? We're not gonna yell at him. We're not gonna be hateful towards him. We just invited him on to have a civilized discussion. Say, for an example, because he was basically saying, well, I believe in the truth 100%. I was like, okay, brother. But let's say, for an example, if you say the earth is round and I say the earth is flat, well, is that not worthy of having a civilized discussion? or why we
Yeah.
might not see eye to eye on. And he still couldn't understand it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, I mean, it's even just the hell topic alone. Like when you brought him on, like we were civilized. Like I'm not going to start problems. Like you're not that type either. If Tony wants to ever talk like in a civilized way, we don't have any problem with that. It's like, but you can't call us like you can't call us like a bish and all this stuff. Like we're all just trying to like, you know, learn. Okay. People are at different levels. Like you say this all the time. There's called levels to this thing. Okay. So we don't wake up in the morning and be like, hey, let me see how many arguments I can start today. That's not what me and you, we don't wake up with that objective. Okay. And so I want people to understand, like, even though we teach passionately, we're not looking for fights. Okay. And then people that write stuff on my comment board, I'm not trying to be mean to you. Okay. I just want you, if you understand what I teach on my channel, I'm going to get you up to speed. Okay. And then maybe we can learn more together. Okay. All of us and all that kind of stuff. So just so you know, okay, I have a feeling I'm speaking for ETT in that regard too. So, okay. We believe in what we believe passionately, but we're not looking for fights. Okay. What does that do?
Right.
Okay. Like,
right. And I already, you know, as I said, all we wanted to do was invite the brother on for a civilized show. We're not going to yell at him. We're not going to try to start an argument. You know, we just try to invite him on to have a civilized discussion, because it's like, as I brought up the example, if he says the earth is round, I say the earth is flat, is that not worthy of having a respectable, civilized conversation on? And he couldn't understand. But anyway, he said that, you know, the other day when he joined us for the first time, right, you saw how nice we were to him. And he said it, we set that up to try to trick him when he came on, is what he was saying in the stream.
Whoa, that's weird, dude. We understand his position. Okay. We understand his position. Like he doesn't know the full picture. That's fine. Not everybody does. Okay. It may not be for everybody, and so I would say we were actually very like, you know, I was understanding. I just told him that eventually, hopefully maybe he will get there, and other people, that when the evil is this broad, okay, then you need a broad interpretation. Okay. You know, like, which you already know. Okay. Like, you know, God is behind the evil and all that. But for other people listening, okay, when the evil becomes this broad, and this is the amazing thing about the times that we live in now with like the internet and all that, we see the evil worldwide. Okay, so then why would you pick a religion or a book if the book doesn't explain that, you know, the broad evil? Like I wouldn't go to that religion. Okay, if Christianity only talked about the evil in like one little pocket, now I don't care about all that other stuff. Like why would anybody pick the Bible or any religion, right? So it's powerful, you know, and I think for you and I, it's comforting because there's a reason for it. So.
Right. And you know, it's funny, man, because don't get me wrong. I already can tell that the brother, you know, doesn't know a whole lot, you know, based on the way he talks and whatnot, which again, we're not making fun of the brother. We're just being honest. There's levels on this thing. We could bring him on where the brother could clearly be refuted in less than 2 minutes. But hey, you know, we keep it civilized, right? If you have a disagreement, you're welcome to come on and we can have a respectful, you know, conversation on why we might see differently. But yeah, man, you know, like I'll say for an example, I'm sure that before he, you know, got on there and was talking with us, I'm sure that he did not even know that those verses existed that spoke about the Lord making good and evil. So he probably was seeing that for the first time. So he got a little stumped on that because he probably never even heard of that before. But then when we showed him in the text, he had to agree. Okay, well, yeah, I agree with that. But that was probably the first time he ever saw that.
Yeah. And I give credit. I think you're going to do a live stream soon, giving credit to the Hebrews. And I probably owe them one too, you know, because I think I heard that from them first. And then I think the big thing I owe them as well, two other things, is reincarnation, which I knew, not the fullness of it, which I know now, but I sort of had just because of the John the Baptist and Elijah thing, and the UFOs. And so shout out to the Hebrews, man. I'm not always on you as in a negative way. I'm not talking about end times teacher, but just all the Hebrews that I bash kind of regularly. But I heard it first from them, you know, and it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why the scriptures say when you go to Romans, the 13th chapter, speaks about what? Giving respect to who respect is due. Right. So we most certainly, even though we both agree GMS does not have 100% truth, I would say GMS has 95% truth. But you know what? I still have to give my respect unto the apostles, unto the elders of Great Millstone for teaching me the knowledge that they were able to teach me. Because hell, you can't learn a lot of the stuff they're teaching. You can't learn that anywhere else except by them. So, hey, we got to give them, you know, respect where it is due.
Yeah, they're obviously very spiritual, and they're obviously preparing the way for the last days, because that teaching really is popular. I don't want to say popular, that's the wrong word, but pervasive and, spreading worldwide. And then there's not going to be a remix down the road. That's what I want people to understand. Okay. And I think people get it, because we're seeing the Bible come true right before our eyes. So, just know that, okay, the Hebrew Israelite group, even though I'm quote unquote on them regularly, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay. Don't do that, because I would not say 95, that's what end time teacher would say, but it's not that far away. Okay. I would probably say 80 or something.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And that's respectable. I will respect that.
But, yeah, I mean, aside from him, are you looking to chat? What's your, what questions do you have, I guess, or what are you looking for in terms of a dialogue with people, or, what are you interested in?
Let's see, man. I mean, since we're on your channel tonight, I'll kind of cater to you and bring some questions, I suppose. Let me see. I wanted to ask this, man. Yesterday I joined, the Ancient Watchmen. Have you ever saw their channel before?
No.
Okay, but yeah, they're basically one of those, Hebrew Israelite groups. But I joined them, and I was, going back and forth with them for maybe 20 minutes or so. That was after we got off our show. And the one thing I brought up to them was about Babylon. And one of the guy was saying that it was somebody says the world system, but somebody else said that it was China. and the one proof of that is he said that without China, the world wouldn't be able to go around, because the merchandise is imported, to wherever from China. So without China, the world wouldn't be able to engage in selling things. So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I would actually say that's probably the second most reasonable option to America. Actually, I wouldn't pick the Vatican or any of those silly options. I would actually say that's the second most reasonable, because those ships are leaving, predominantly China, and then they're coming here. So it has to be one or the other, right? There's no way it's any other stop on the way. Okay, it's Dubai or something like that. That's stupid. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you and I know that it's ridiculous, but yeah, I would actually say that's probably the second quote option. That's the amazing thing about the Bible, man. This is, and for people, I would say like ETT and all that, a lot of these things are moving actually from beliefs to facts, basically, like the flat stationary Earth. But if the Bible's true, then to me, it's a fact that America's Mystery Babylon. It's not even there's no wiggle room, and I like that. So, I guess what did you think of that? What do you laugh when you see that, or do you actually take that seriously?
I mean, I actually agreed with him in a sense that I can understand dealing with the merchandise, but the problem was that I brought up to him is when you read the scripture, it speaks about the nations got rich off of selling their merchandise with Babylon. So China is actually becoming rich off of bringing their merchandise here and selling it to the consumers, right? So China wouldn't be getting all this money if they were not engaging in selling their products with Babylon, which is America. So that was my my beef, so to speak, with them on that, and we basically came to agree to disagree on it. But that was cool.
How could they say that in the times that we live in now? And if I was a so-called African American, I still would obviously have an appreciation for the scriptures, but that Mystery Babylon would be even more obvious, if you're in that condition, you know what I mean? I don't understand how a Hebrew group would say China or the Vatican is Mystery Babylon. I don't get it, dude. And I think ITR, Tried and Refined, and all that, they started going down the road of oh no, the Mystery Babylon's Vatican. They started remixing all this stuff when they left GMS, and I do think they're worse off because of that. I'm like, really?
Yeah, man. I saw that. They moved into teaching that when they left GMS, and I believe that was one of the reasons why they left, as they saw that topic differently. But hey, look at them now. Now they're barely doing anything, and for a good year or so, they were literally off YouTube. And nobody could reach out to them or anything. No videos. Nothing. They were completely gone for an entire year.
They're too busy making CDs and all that kind of stuff. Like your boy Rock Upon Him. That's what happened, I think, with those ITR guys. They got into the rap game and stuff. I'll read a verse really quick, man.
Yeah.
Revelation 18:7. How much she hath glorified herself. This verse, to me, I don't need to read anything else about Mystery Babylon. Anybody in the chat, tell me who this is talking about, okay? Much less all of Revelation 18. Revelation 18:7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit as a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. You're telling me that describes the Chinese? Okay, are you kidding me? People working like 22 hours a day, you know, jumping off, you know, the edge of the building and, you know, what's RMing themselves. Maybe that'll be our new term. Sorry, ATT. RMing themselves. No, this is America. Yeah. Okay. Are you kidding me? Just that one verse proves that it's America, because there are a bunch of truthers. Sorry to cut you off, man, but I wanted to bring up the point. What they're doing is say, for example, China or, you know, some of these other places, they can manufacture, say, a product for like, say, maybe $1 or 40 cents that over here they can bring it over and it might sell for $25. So they're making a profit off of making the stuff cheap. And by bringing it over here, that's how they're getting all of their wealth, is by bringing their merchandise and selling it for a profit over here. Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I think that, sorry, maybe I missed that point, ETT. I was just thinking about my next point, but sorry, can you mind saying that again, what you just said? Yeah,
I was saying that, you know, what those people over there can do is they manufacture the stuff for cheap. Say, for example, they might have a toy that they can make for 50 cents. But then when they bring it over here, they can sell it for $20 or $25. So that's how they become rich, is because they can bring their merchandise into America. And because the American population are consumers, you know, that's all America is built upon, it is consumerism. But yeah, you know, I'll throw the mic to you.
And I would just say for people, don't think that, and all of us, we can be easy to feel this way if you're in America. Don't think that some of God's elect are not in China. Okay, working in a sweatshop. What God's too good for those people? No, some of our brothers and sisters, if we're on God's right hand side, are slaving away like their fingers to the bone for us to get another stupid iPhone. Okay. So we shouldn't want that. Okay. So people that come by here, say 10, 15 years, just get out of that spirit. Okay. That's insensitive to say that. Okay. And again, I'm insensitive all the time, as people know of my channel. So I'm not saying I'm above that, but God's people are in China. Okay. They're in Japan. They're everywhere. Okay. They're in Harlem. They're everywhere. So we can't think like that. Okay. Just because we benefited, like I read here in Revelation 18:7, we have glorified ourselves and thought we're invincible. If you should listen to End Times Teacher in our hangout last night, okay, God has different plans. Okay. Don't think like these Babylonians. Okay. God has very different plans than Biden about this place, for sure. And watch that hangout. We went through, I don't know how many verses we brought up. So,
hey, I mean, hell, man, look, in just one of our chats, right, where we talk for, let's say, 40 minutes, we already brought out more skip G's than the entire Christian church brings out in a whole 3-hour church service.
Yeah, that's what's fun about the Bible, man. Like it's actually fun, you know, because the Bible's like, we know more. I think we always had a sense that it was true or like likely to be true, but it's so much fun now because like it's like coming true right before our eyes, you know, like we can read it and be like, oh, dude, this relates to this, you know, and this is over here. And, you know, I mean, you look at your water, right, that you're walking in by the Delaware or whatever. It's like that's explained in the Bible, you know, that it's flat, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's amazing, man. But yeah, those cemetery schools, man, like, you know, like that's crazy, dude. I can't believe that I cared about school and academics and all that. Like, you just have to watch maybe, I would say 10 or 15 videos, and you will be able to confuse a person who's graduated from seminary. They'll be like, what are you talking about? where are you getting that? They'll actually be like, where did that come from? They won't even know that it's in the Bible. You know, that's what's funny about it's amazing. I don't know. It's amazing in the time.
Right. Hey, can you go back to the comment board, man? I did put up a couple skip G's earlier. It was where Christ quoted directly out of the Apocrypha. You might want to read that for the audience.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. So I want people to understand, you know, the Apocrypha is well worth your time. Do you want me to go to that Matthew 7:13 or how far back?
Go ahead and get.
I think
we
get
both of those because. Go ahead.
I know which one you're talking about. I'll get this one. Yeah, let's do this. The one where Christ is quoting from it directly. I recommend people go look at the ones that he said, Matthew 7:13 and 2 Esdras 7. Take a look at that, on your own. That's a good one. But I'll read this one, Matthew 23:37. Okay. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou hast killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Okay. And so ETT is claiming that that's also in this one.
Yeah, that's in the one I put there with you. You're going to see. And remember, the Apocrypha was written first. So what Christ is quoting directly out of the Apocrypha, because the Apocrypha was written before the New Testament. But you're going to see in this scripture, it literally uses the exact same words here. So any guys out there to say that Christ didn't quote it, well we got to address this.
2 Esdras 1:30, I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. But now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. And so
right. So you see how it uses the exact same wording there. And remember, he had to have quoted the Apocrypha. It couldn't be the other way around, because according to the history, the Apocrypha was written first. So that would stump anybody that's saying the Apocrypha, well, the Apocrypha just was written to sound like the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because that's things they try to pull.
That's the hard thing that's the cool thing I would say for people who read all these other books that are written in different timelines, throughout human history. You're telling me that all these people, like, from generation to generation conspired to write the same things, like that's what a person has to believe. Like, oh yeah, like Esdras, like he sat down with somebody, that's going to come 50 years later. And then they just happened to write the same thing as he did. Like, are you kidding me? Like, when did they sit down and talk, and set up a plan or whatever? That's ridiculous. So, and then it's compounded more when you start realizing, oh my gosh, even in Genesis, there's Bible prophecy. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. This is an amazing thing. So I think End Time Teacher and I know that we maybe will disagree on the sort of mechanics, a little bit of the details and the sequence, but this stuff's going to happen. This is it. Right. Okay. As a RM says. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, hell, I don't know. Did you watch any video on that, man? I mean, hell, somebody actually uploaded that video to YouTube, and they put it into unlisted. So the only way you can get it is you have to have the link to it.
I bet you if you go into those file sharing things, which I use more in undergrad, you could find that everywhere. Like if you go off the web and go to the person to person, I mean, I think it would be everywhere. What's
messed up, man? You know something that's messed up? What somebody did to be funny is they went on TikTok, which, there's a lot of little kids on there and whatnot. But what they did is they took the clip, right, and they inserted it into a compilation of, dog and cat videos. So when the kids watch it, it will just pop up, his head exploding like a damn watermelon.
The only reason I'm laughing at that is before this hangout, I don't know why, I just searched for his name again. I think I was looking for the spelling or something. And then I saw that it's like TikTok star. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this guy was on TikTok. Like that's what it said in one of the news clippings. So that's horrifying. Imagine somebody like watching like a kitten or something. And then all of a sudden like that pops up. That's crazy, dude. It's sick.
And hey, man, I seen the video, which I have the link to it. I have the link to that video. I'm sure you probably don't want to see that because that was pretty
dude, you have a higher tolerance for pain than I do. I don't even like, skateboard injuries where people like twist their arm and all that. I can't watch that. It's gross. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, dude. I can't. Yeah. But
yeah, man. I used to always be that way, but then we all have a sense of, I believe it's called morbidly curious or something like that. I know that's that cat. Vsauce did a video about that. But yeah, as I said, I was that way for a while. But I mean, it's definitely interesting, certain things to see what happens to the human body put under certain circumstances, like even in the medical field, that's all, certainly interesting, the stuff that they have to, learn, about the body and whatnot, man. But anyway, I throw the mic back to you.
Well, I mean, that from what you told me, and I suspect is point blank range. So that's going to do not only that's what's scary about it. You're going to do damage.
Man, he literally
love you.
Hey, look, man, he literally put the barrel up to his chin, man. I mean, hey, look, his head split like a damn watermelon. If you ever saw what happened to a damn watermelon being shot, point blank with a shotgun, man. Just picture that guy's head, man. And I saw it. That was, oh damn.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
You know
even.
what's crazy actually? ETT.
Crazy.
One of my friends years ago came back to his apartment and there was like a bullet hole in the wall. You know, because like I guess somebody was cleaning their gun or something like that. And it's crazy to think that thing that he used, I mean, that could cause damage for like, you know, many feet, you know, or mile, you know, up wherever, you know, that thing goes. Because that's scary, you know, if he lives in an apartment or something like that. But yeah, man, those, I mean,
it is.
Yeah, that's bad. That's crazy.
Right,
dude.
right. But hey, man, yeah, man. It happened on I believe it happened on August the 31st or something like that. It happened sometime in August last year.
Of course,
it happened on Facebook.
Years old. Yeah, he was 33
right.
years old, of course. Yeah, so again, we're not laughing at him or his plight. It's not funny at all. Again, I haven't seen it, so I don't relate to him in any way. It's just like a character. So we're not making light of that because the times are very, very, very scary. And you know, but it's just a scary world, you know. Even if the world didn't have this narrative going on, it was still scary, you know, for a lot of people, you know, because it's just the way the world is set up, you know, just the way that we read, you know, everywhere in the Bible, and God has set it up that way. So we're not making light of it, you know. We're just trying to, you know, have a little joke here.
I mean, hell, man, you know, it is scary, man, because we know according to the skip cheese that the world is being, you know, run by the wicked, right? So there's, you know, there's psychopaths, you know, that run the world, and they have at their disposal or at their perusal, they have, you know, nuclear weapon, you know, codes that they can type in at any moment and shoot those weapons of mass destruction off, which will result in millions of deaths. And they have that button right there at their use. Anytime they want, they can just push that button and say, hey, we have a lot to be fearful of. But hey, you know, it is what it is. That's just the world that we live in, you know.
That goes in line with what we were talking about with AwakenP. That was a good conversation, because all the stuff that they judge us on. Again, I'm not saying that, you know, any of those things are right. You go investigate those concepts of adulthood yourself, and obviously this stuff with Ronnie. But what End Times Teacher getting at is a great point. Okay, you have nations that have created weapons that will annihilate an entire other nation, and that people don't care. They're just like, oh, look, Iran is like enriching nuclear weapons, and like no one even bats an eye when that comes up on CNN. But all these other things, oh, it's such a big deal that, oh no, this guy went on Facebook Live and did that. Okay, again, I'm not saying that to do that or whatever. Okay, first of all, that person could.
I don't know if you have Yeah, sorry to cut you off. I don't know if you have screen share on, but if you want to see something really scary, what you can do is look up or go on Google and look up something called the Hiroshima shadows. Have you ever heard of those before?
No, I'll look it up on my phone.
Basically, yeah, what they are is basically, you know, this history about, you know, when they dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
What happened was, you know, the people in those areas, when the blast went off,
wow,
the light would basically burn, you know, with the shadow of them into the pavement or the wall behind them. So you can look up online.
I'm seeing it
the
now.
Photographs. Yeah. Isn't that crazy, man? That's
wow,
scary.
Dude. Yeah.
Those people got third-degree burns, if not disintegrated on the spot right there, man. That's crazy.
Wow. That means that their inners are literally now molded to that cement. You know what I mean? Like looking at these pictures, like it's like bonded to for people. It's not gruesome because the bodies aren't there. But what he's getting at is like when you have this type of intense heat, it's like it literally leaves an imprint of the person on the ground. You know, that's how powerful they are. And can you imagine that's antiquated technology? So what's the Most High going to do now with all the money that he's been printing? You know, we don't want to be a part of that. We don't want you to be. We don't want you listening to be a part of it, and I don't want to be. ETT doesn't want to be a part of that. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, we don't want to be a part of that kind of heat, like the Bible says, that'll melt your eye sockets. Okay, no.
Oh, but wait, my God, I forgot though. But wait, nuclear weapons don't exist because I never saw one before.
You know what God would say that? He'd be like, I'll prove it to you. He's like, just wait, you know, go get a Red Bull and a you know, just wait a little while. God's going to prove it to you. And for people out there, we're joking about this, but it's very, very serious. Okay. God has been doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and it's going to be a big surprise. like I read today.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, even though we're up here joking about it, hey, the truth is, we're just being sarcastic, but the truth is
Yeah.
that, it's a very serious situation, right? Hey, we're in a life and death situation right now. The way everything is going, and very soon, as we spoke about before, but this thing out here, in the very near future, we're not going to be able to purchase anything, enter into a business,
Yeah.
to work, or to purchase anything without going along with that thing. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's just we're in some serious times right now. That's all I can say.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. And that's the amazing thing I want people to know. The problems are so big and so worldwide and so common to everybody that it's either God or nothing, That's the amazing thing. And then if the Bible is not true, which I would say is very, very unlikely at this point, I would say humanity will just move on, and then the Bible will, people will still maybe give their interpretations and all that, but I don't think people will take it seriously, I'm talking even like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 years from now, they'll be like, I mean, how could any of these things have happened when like all this other evil has been very, very obvious to even atheists. Even atheists know that this system is backwards, and then, people who are into the Bible, we know a little bit deeper, but it's kind of like, it's like common knowledge at this point. So.
Right. I mean, hey, man, as I said before, you got idiots out here talking about, that oh, well, maybe another 15, 20 years. Somebody else said, what, 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I can't see this place going on another 2 years, 3 years max. That's the most I could see this going on. It's just, there's too much that's happening right now. I mean, all you got to do is look at how bad the people are. Matter of fact, man, a little fun story real quick. I was just walking, over to my spot, and there was a guy sitting there on the bench, and he waved over to me. He was like, "Hey, man, come over here." And I went over, and he was like, "Hey, man, can you get me a beer real quick, man?" I was like, "Oh, man, I would pick it up for you, man, but I ain't got any money on me, man."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, okay, man." But it just shows you, man, that people are doing bad right now. They can't even afford to get a damn drink. It's like,
yeah, I told you on the hangout I talked to you, somebody asked me for gas, and that actually doesn't happen that often, because and one other time I remember, it was like years ago, somebody asked me for the food that I was holding in my hand, and that scared me the most, because I'm like, then they're hungry, they're not like, hey, can I have $5 so they can go and then get what they want to eat, they're like, can I eat that food, and I'm like, well, damn, you know what I mean? Like, that's scary, somebody told me that somebody stole socks,
Oh, yeah. Remember the story I told about that? A guy stole 2 pairs of socks and risked going to jail over $5.
Yeah, you told me that. That's crazy, dude. Like, that's wild, man.
Yeah, man. Well, sorry to cut you off like you.
No, I was going to say anything. I knew that was you, actually. I was just kidding. But yeah, you told me that story. I remember that. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, man. What I'm doing is, the best thing we can do right now while we have an opportunity is, you can get some supplies and put them away. So when, everyone else is going hungry, and when there's shortages, you will always have something in your house to eat. So why, we can get these things. Say, for example, man, just like if you look through, history, like what happened in Germany, those, the marks is what the currency was called. But there was a point where people were not even able to purchase anything at the store, even though they went to the store with a damn, barrel full of money. In fact, there was a story where what happened was somebody went to the store with a barrel of money to purchase something, and when they came out, the money was there on the floor, but somebody stole the barrel that it was in.
Jeez. Yeah, and that's common in a lot of places, and it looks like, if the Bible is true, we're going to head towards that, where money is going to be like, that doesn't feed you, so people are going to start fighting for food, or access to food and stuff. So yeah, food ultimately, if the Bible is honored, food should be the currency. Every currency should be backed by food or cattle. Okay. And that's what it was, that's the way it was, when they say like, it's like worth like a pinch of salt and all that kind of stuff. Like, those were like,
hey, that's why you have a saying that a man isn't worth his salt, because back then they used to pay, they used to pay the soldiers with salt, because that back then was a rare commodity to come by that is necessary for life.
Yeah. And that's why God in his word, for people to understand, he's not going to change his language, even if, even if like, we have like these Federal Reserve notes and all that stuff. God is not going to change what he values. Okay. So they'll use gold and silver in the Bible. Okay. Because that's what he views, and that kind of thing. And so he's not going to go and change his language just because perverted people go and change the currency to like these paper dollars and all that. So gold and silver in the Bible is essentially this fiat currency. Okay. And then the Bible says in many, many places, we can find lots of verses like, don't trust in that. Okay. We need it to survive. I get it. Okay. But like I read and all that everywhere, don't trust in that. Okay. Cause like what's that going to do? Okay. God can shut this whole system down before this hangout is done. That's the way he's done it. Shut the power off. Okay. And then, crash the markets. And this thing could be over before tomorrow. Okay. He can make it crazy. And then that's ultimately what he's going to do on his own, in his own timeline or whatever. Read Revelation 16.
Just like, man. Just like, the Hart made a statement before and said that all the prophecies could be fulfilled, such as, the thing, America being destroyed, Jacob's trouble, all of that could happen in literally a week. We don't know what the hell is going to happen, but the Lord can make this whole thing come to an end in literally just a week. I mean, hell, he can do it in a day if he wants to. We don't know what the hell, is going to come our way. But that's why the scriptures speak about a wise man will foresee the evil and he will hide himself. Right. So why everyone else is out there having a fun time right now. We're preparing ourselves mentally, to take, whatever it is that's coming our way. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I like that, man. I was encouraged by that discussion because there's not that many people who will genuinely want that. And I just want people to know, even if you're, don't know, can't quote as many verses or whatever, that God's not going to give me an ETT any points for that. If we all genuinely want the verses to come true, we're on the same team. Okay. If you want America to be destroyed for the reasons that the Bible sets, then that's good. Even if you live in America, don't be ashamed of that or whatever. Then the quote unquote worst case scenario becomes our best case scenario. So we flip the whole thing upside down. Then we're like, excellent. Why? Because God will destroy this place. And you could set up a better place than this with people who don't even know anything. Okay. They're just normal people. That's how stupid this whole system is. So imagine if like Christ or, Yahushua sets it up with his elect. Okay. That's what we're looking.
One thing I have to, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
one thing I have to say with Good Servant and his crew, why aren't those guys talking about prophecy? Why the hell are those guys not talking about any type of prophecies in the scriptures? That's the most important thing that we are to be talking about.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll read the verse while you continue if you want. But we know that in the last days, really in all the times in the Bible, this is why I give people a little bit of a hard time. Okay, it's not that I'm not valuing your spirituality, but for us to be edified, okay, and then for us to know that you went to God and he told you something, this has to happen, Revelation 19:10, and I fell at his feet to worship him. Notice that it equates in this verse worship and prophecy, okay? But he said to me, see that you do not do that. I am your fellow servant and of your brethren who have the testimony of Jesus, worship God. Okay, this is what God's people will say. Don't come and worship TMoG or ETT or any of your leaders, Ken Hovind, all these bird brains. Okay, worship God. Okay, and listen to this. For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Okay, and it's not like you have to know everything about prophecy. That's not what I would say. Okay, because we know that we always prophesy in part until the truth is revealed in the sky. But
right. I mean,
here's what I think entities
sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, here's what entities.
I just wanted to say.
Yeah, this is what we would both say.
Man, I just wanted to throw something in there. I just wanted to throw one thing in there.
Go for it.
It doesn't matter, how much you know. Hey, if you can know a little, then at least know that, right? That's why the scriptures say what? It says, blessed is the man who reads the book of this prophecy, right? Because you have an advantage across everybody else who has not read it. I mean, hell, the average simp doesn't know America is in the Bible. The average simp don't know that, America is predicted to be taken down out of power. The average simp don't know that. That's why the scriptures say, blessed is the man who reads, right? And that's a very important thing. Not even, of course, reading the Bible, which is, of course, most important, but, reading books in general, that's how you, can become more intelligent is by reading. You got to give ear to reading. In fact, there's many great men, which I suppose I can't throw Bill Gates in there, but even people talk to him about how he got his wealth and whatnot. He says that he spends his time, reading certain books, and many great people who have have wealth that's, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, they'll say, if you ask them, that one thing they dedicated their time to would be to reading and studying so they could become more intelligent. Anyway, I'll let you go ahead and respond.
Yeah, I would just say for people, like, it's not the details that God needs to will quiz you on or whatever, because again, God knows everything. Okay, He's not going to ask ETT and I, hey, can you break this verse down for me? Like, that's not why He needs, quote unquote, us. He needs all of us, though, if we're on His right hand side, to get excited about what He says. Okay, that's it. And then a lot of things will actually fall into place. So we can't be like, you know what, I don't really want America to I wouldn't mind America lasting for another, I don't know, 7 to 8 years. Really? Are you kidding? So you can be a slave for 7 or 8 more years? Are you joking? And then, there's lots of people. Yeah.
I see that we have Awaken Pennsylvania in the chat. Hey, man, if you're able to, you can click that link. And mind of God, you want to put a new link in there for him to see if the brother wants to join us for a couple minutes?
Yeah, I'll just put the link right now. For Awaken, just do the same thing as you did last time. If you turn the video off, unless you're trying to like show us something that's appropriate. I'll put that in the link in the chat right now. I was just writing another message about the thing, and so I want people to understand that we're living in those days. Okay. For sure at this point. So, it's scary and exciting at the same time. Okay. But yeah, I'll put this in. Anybody like Awaken, anyone who kind of has the spirit of like the way, we talked last time, who's annoyed by all the stupid rules that this place has, you're going to find a good place here. Okay. Cause we think everything is stupid here, every single thing. So, no problem.
Hey, just two skip G's real quick. That popped to mind, man. Ecclesiastes 7:7. It says what? That surely oppression makes a wise man mad. And also Ecclesiastes 1:18. It says what? He that increases in knowledge, he increases in sorrow. Right. That's why, a lot of brothers are always down and out all the time. And it's funny because I don't know if you saw this or not, but Elder Apostle Rakah did a video. He said, you're supposed to be angry. You're supposed to be pissed off, here in this place.
Yeah, agreed. We wouldn't be normal if we didn't get upset. Even if you're living okay, we're not hating on you. So that's just good. But like you should be upset that other people are struggling, and a lot of people are struggling. Okay, it's not a few people. The stats that they publish are false, and they're scary. Okay, like the number of people living paycheck to paycheck, and this moratorium is going to end in a week. That's not good news. Okay.
I'll give an example. I'll give an example, man. Hey, mind of God has $20,000 in his bank account. Hell, with that kind of money, man. Hey, look, with that kind of money, I'm set for the next 1,000 years, man. But hell, ETT be over here, living off of $5 for damn 2 weeks.
Why don't you tell them the Social Security as well? No, I'm just kidding, dude. It's what it is, and I don't say that to get pity. Okay, I want people to know. I only say that because people in the corporate world, they're like, oh, don't talk about your salary, and like you're not supposed to talk about money. F this system. Okay, pardon my French. Okay. As Raekwon would say, let me speak Italian. Okay. F this place. Okay. That's what I have. I don't care. Okay. And then I want other people who have that or less to know that you're not alone. Okay. And so I don't care at all. Okay. I say that to comfort people, and it's what it is. Guess what I have to do now? All this barking that I do on these streams, guess what? I actually have to trust what I teach. Okay. That's what I have to do. Okay. And that's an amazing thing. So I never say that to get pity or anything like that. But, thanks for advertising, my financial status, ETT. But it's cool. It's what it is. And the reality is, like he's saying, there's people with a lot less, and there's people who've had a lot less for a lot longer, and lived a lot scarier situations. So you're not alone, I'm not going to give you any BS when you come here. Okay. It's what it is. Okay. And it's scary, man. And imagine America is the better place. All these stats that we're quoting, okay, about, the moratorium and like, the paycheck to paycheck. Imagine America, like I just read in Revelation 18:7, we're the better place than the rest of the world. So, for all of us, open our eyes. Okay. You think they're all like, partying and living it up everywhere else in the world? No. They're making all the garbage that we consume every day, and working 20 hours a day. And then all that. Kind of
and that's why, all those places, a lot of those places people are living, No, I mean, hell, half of the world doesn't even have, running water or, a working, toilet to use for the bathroom. But hey, that's why when you go to Revelation 17 in the last verse, it says what?
Yeah.
And that great city is that city that reigns over the kings of the earth. That's why America is the backbone of the world. All things, the world basically revolves around the United States. Go ahead.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I'll go back. I want to read a verse based on what ETT and I said earlier, okay, about faith. Okay, TMoG, I'm not on anything, okay? My faith is like in between my fingers, okay? That's how much faith I have. You can't fit anything in there. But look at what it can do potentially. Matthew 17:20. And Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to your yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible to you. You wouldn't even know if I had a mustard seed in between my finger, right? There could be one in there, right? But look at what Christ says that it can do. And I believe for people to understand, that's literal. God's elect are going to have the ability to do this, whether you believe this on this side or in the kingdom. It'll be easy for them, okay? Just move the mountain, okay?
Right. As I said, man, we're really taking a gamble with this thing, man. We're really taking a risk with this, because at the end of the day, we really don't know what the hell is true or not. That's why, you got to, blindly believe in it, and you got to take that upon faith, okay? Because we can't call the Most High down and ask him if he exists. You can't do that. You got to take it upon faith. And that's why when you go to, what is that, Romans, the 1st chapter, when it talks about the invisible things of him are clearly seen, right? So that's why, you can look at, the earth and everything we see, and you can come to the conclusion, oh yeah, well, obviously it had to have been, created. All this didn't just pop into existence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a creator. I think it's okay. You don't have to be, you could have learned this yesterday. That's the cool thing about, and we could bring out the verses in the vineyard. Okay. There's no points if you've joined this today. Okay. You, whatever, all of us, if we repent today and we're sincere, we can get the same rewards as somebody who's been laboring in this truth for a long time. Okay. So it's no biggie. This is an amazing thing about the God of the Bible. He's the opposite of the way this world is. Oh, you showed up late? Okay, I'll take that from your pay. What does the God of the Bible do? He's like, no worries, I'll give you the same thing as somebody who showed up at the beginning. Okay, and then he's like, tells people who are like complaining, he's like, shut up. I'm allowed to be
right. Right. Hey, we have our brother Awaken Pennsylvanian here. We'll let him talk a couple minutes.
AP, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. By the way,
I'm surviving.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead. Sorry, man. Go for it.
Yeah. You guys were talking about how the United States government is, and well, actually, really any government of the world. A lot of the governments are in bed with each other. So a lot of these people that are like, China and China's going to take over the U.S. or vice versa. I look at them and laugh because a lot of the governments at the end of the day are in cahoots with each other. And I heard that like Europe and Africa, like they're trying to, well, Netanyahu, if you guys know who Netanyahu is, the prime minister of Israel, he said in his quote that, well, the state of Israel is going to, they're going to use America up like a cattle, or, they're going to milk it till it's, I can't find that quote. Let's see if I don't know if I can find that quote, but he basically said he's going to milk America dry and then discard it, Right.
And that's why, sorry to cut you off, man, but that's why when you go into the prophecy, it says what? That the beast shall hate the whore, right? So eventually they're all going to turn against America and then come at her. So they used her to become rich. But then something's going to happen where they're going to turn against it and destroy. Go ahead.
Well, it's funny too, because I don't know if I'm saying this right, but there's a quote. There's a verse in the Bible that says that all the merchants will weep because they, like, we know when Babylon gets destroyed, and this shows you that America is Babylon. It'll say all the merchants will weep because they can't sell and make money off of her anymore. And if you notice,
can you pull that up?
Pull that script.
You can keep going. You can keep going.
Yeah, and that if you really think about it, the United States, a lot of the countries use the United States dollar. They're in the what's that word I'm looking for? They're in the what's that called?
The
IMF.
reserve. Yeah, the reserve currency status.
Yeah. The IMF. All the countries they use the American dollar. So, once America is destroyed, or the economy collapses, or they for whatever reason they get off the dollar, they're gonna, America's just gonna be toast. And the only reason why America's hanging on by a thread is because everyone's using American dollars. It's everyone uses American money for trading. So that's the only reason why America. But I'm hearing Russia and China are trying to get off the dollar. They're trying to go more of a gold back currency. And there's also my brothers mentioned this. It's called the Belt and Roads Project. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It's where they're gonna unite the old world. So basically, it's gonna be Africa, Europe, China, Russia, India, and the United States is going to be, and I think even Brazil, and then the United States is going to be left out of that. It's going to be toast. So, so pretty much that America's finished after that.
I'll read the verse AP that you brought out. You can continue on if you got more. Revelation 18:11. I would highly recommend people after this stream read Revelation 17 and 18, especially if you live in America. Revelation 18:11, and the merchants of the earth. Remember this, the earth. Think about it. Go to any store in TJ Maxx or Walmart or whatever. Just open up go look at the tag. Okay, just do that. Okay, if you're bored or whatever, go look at the tags. Okay, you're gonna see what countries: China, of course. Okay, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Vietnam. You can freaking have the UN, okay? So, like, it's not funny, but, like, I mean, it's the Bible you can go prove the Bible to be true, okay? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, okay?
Yep.
And then it lists it all. So, yeah, that's what it is.
Right. Yep. You know what's funny, man? I was even at Walmart one time, and this is what I find ridiculous. I was looking at the American flags, right? And on the back of these American flags, it said they were made in China. Well, what do you think about that?
That's mad funny. And I mean, the irony there is unreal. And it's like, that's what it is. Okay. So I just want people to know, especially if you're in the corporate world, don't get frustrated. Okay. I've been down that road where I was banging my head against the wall. Like, oh, why do all these corporations treat us so poorly and all that? The whole setup is designed to be evil. Okay. It's about enslavement.
Hey, sorry to cut you off, man. I just wanted to say something to AP real quick. Hey, AP, you know who Royals is, right?
No.
The guy from our chat on Google.
Royal S?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, I know Royal S. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what? He teaches at Babylon the Great is the Vatican City. What do you feel about that?
I would have to disagree on that. For several reasons. If you think about it, America just has all the makings to be Babylon. I mean, it's the most powerful country in the world. It has the largest military. Everyone uses its currency, and it ties into that one script that Mind of God just read. All the merchants will cry over. Well, who has the most? Who uses what's the top currency? It's the U.S. Everyone knows that. Yeah. And
right now, sorry to cut you off, man. I'll let you continue. I just wanted to say this: that his one proof that he goes to say that is he goes to the part when he go back to the 17th chapter. It says that she was arrayed in purple and scarlet color. So he'll bring that up and say, that's talking about the Catholic Church because that's the robe colors, that they use. Anyway, man, I'll let you respond to that.
Well, the Roman Empire never left; it just moved. It just the same people who ran the Roman Empire running America. People think that it collapsed. Exactly. It didn't. It just moved.
Exactly.
That's all it did. It just moved to here. I mean, if you look at American architecture, look at the White House. It has the exact same Roman style architecture like it did back in Rome, and it even has Egypt. It has the what's that? That big tower. It look in Washington D.C. That big tower.
Hey, I gotta jump in real quick. I want to jump in. Mind of God, go ahead and get what is that? Revelation 11 and 8, and you can read that. But I wanted to say that's why when you go to Revelation 17, it says what? That the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth, and he's of the seven, right? So what that means is America is the Roman Empire, back in this time period now. So the guys who say that Rome is Babylon, in a way they are correct. However, they are incorrect because they're saying that it's Italy. It's not talking about that. It's talking about America because America is the new modern day Rome, but it's also Sodom and Egypt, and that's why when you go to Revelation 11 and 8, it clearly uses that. So, Monty Guy, you want to get that real quick?
Yeah, but you're talking about the Washington Monument, right? AP, the tall, pointy thing.
Yeah. The tall pointy thing. Yeah.
For the numerology people, it was constructed on October 15th, 1966. Okay, 666. I believe the height also in like inches has 666 in it or something like that.
Yeah. It's I looked into that. It's 666 feet tall.
That's crazy. Sorry, what was the one you were talking about? The Rome reincarnated, right? ETT with that.
Yeah, that's in Revelation the 17th chapter.
Right. Okay, I actually just had that up. Yeah, this is it. So this is it. Okay. So I'll read this. Verse 8. Okay, the beast that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, and they that dwell upon the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Okay, so what they're getting at is actually revived structure, but it also supports reincarnation. For people out there, I can't say this enough, the Bible speaks of reincarnation everywhere. Okay, it's unavoidable. Don't have any issues with it. Okay, this also supports reincarnation because the leaders back then, guess what they're doing? They're just sitting in different offices. Okay, they're sitting in that monument or whatever the hell it is. But and there is the mind which hath wisdom. The seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sitteth, and there are seven kings. 5 have fallen, one is, and the other is not yet to come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. Okay. And the beast that was and is not, even he that is the eighth and is of the seventh and goeth into perdition. So this is also important, actually. I'll read this in verse 13. These have one mind, okay, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast, okay? I mean, come on, dude. On the drop of a dime, this thing goes out, okay? Every country is on board with it, okay? Just magically, really? Come on, dude. This is Bible prophecy. It's amazing. We're living in it. It's amazing.
Yeah, you can go ahead and respond.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I can't really think of this as we mentioned yesterday. I can't really see this place going on for much longer. I mean, it'd be. I mean, if it would just hypothetically go on, it would just get worse and worse. I mean, I don't really see a future. I don't really see anything getting better. You look around, inflation's getting worse and worse. You're seeing more homeless people. More people are on drugs. The marriage rates are plummeting.
Mm-hmm. Reproduction's going down.
Reproduction's going down. I mean, I honestly don't see how we're going to progress into the future. I mean, it looks very bleak to me. I mean, if it does go on longer, I mean, I hope not. But you know, I can't really see a future. I mean, I just can't. I can't fathom it.
I would say if it does, it would be essentially like a nanny state where you're dependent on the government for most things, you know, not just this. I'm talking about your food will be rationed to you, and like that's the way it would kind of go if it's not sort of there already. So, you know, that's what it is. And yeah.
It's funny too, because people now are starting to slowly wake up with the coronavirus. Like, people are like, well, they're taking our rights away and they're doing this. I'm like, hello, where were you? Where have you been? Because they've been doing that.
Exactly.
And it's funny too, because people will be like, oh, well, America's going to turn socialist or socialist soon. It's going to be a communist country. Last time I checked, it kind of was socialist already before the COVID. I mean, for a while. I mean, if you read the book, the what the heck is it called? The 10 Planks, what the heck? The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx, and he has the 10 planks of communism. We have like 9 out of the 10 planks. Yeah, we've been communists or socialists for a while now. This ain't something that's going to happen. I mean, this whole COVID stuff is like the last nail in the coffin. But
hey man, real quick, I want to just don't use that word on here because they'll take it down. Just refer to it as the thing from here on out. But when you come on my page too, just make sure you don't use that. All right, just for the future. All right.
Yeah, it's just for people out there. What we use is the Corolla. Okay, so for people out there, what he said, what AP said earlier, we're gonna call it the Corolla. Okay, so that's what it is. So yeah, but it's cool. I mean, for the most part, it's okay. Like as long as we don't have a strong opinion on that, people know what I'm pointing at, then it's usually okay. But yeah, if you don't mind, just with that. But
right, remember what Larkin Rose was saying about the community guidelines, man? Do you watch that whole video?
I just kind of skimmed through it, but you can I can get the link and put it in the chat. Actually, it was kind of funny. I'll do that while you do that.
Yeah, man. I seen something else, man. They went after his I believe his Twitter account or his Facebook. They went after him, and what happened was, it was funny. They told him he had to go off for 3 days, so he complained about it. And then what happened is that now they told him he has to go off for a month.
Jeez. He's got a lot of subs too. He has a lot of reach, actually. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I believe he has what is it, 57,000? I believe it was last time I checked.
Yeah, he has.
He's been on there for a while, man. I believe he's been on there for, I want to say maybe 15 years, at least 10 years he's been on there. But that guy knows a lot, man. I recommend you give his book a listen, man. And I always say that. And AP, you can look at this too, man. Look up The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose, man. Give that book a listen or a read, man. That's a life-changing book right there.
Yeah, I've heard you mention the book. I'm actually, Larkin Rose has a YouTube channel that I'm also subscribed to. So
oh, that's good. You're familiar with him?
Yeah, yep. I'm subscribed to him. I believe I think he lives in Easton.
Yeah, he lives. Yeah, he lives very close to where I was born at. Ironically enough.
Yeah, I think he still lives there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I think he's.
I believe it's Easton, Pennsylvania, right, which is actually very close, less than just a few miles away from where I was actually born.
I think that's the Allentown area.
Yeah, that area around there. I know where that is.
I find Larkin Rose that better than AwakenJP. I find that guy annoying. So I prefer people like Larkin Rose because he's a bit more intelligent. People who do it purely like as a joke, like that guy, I think people know who I'm talking about, AwakenJP. That's like too stupid to me. But I'll tell people in the chat, just search for people to know what we're talking about. If you go to an individual named Larkin Rose who wrote a book called The Most Dangerous Superstition, there's a video that he posted on quote community guidelines, and it's like satire, but it's like truth satire kind of thing. So
right. He's just trying to be sarcastic with it, but at the same time, he's bringing out valid points of why they're going off. Yeah,
and a lot of that is like we have no choice at this point to still have a bit of a sense of humor because like it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Like for people out there, try and use humor as much as you can.
Right. Hey, my God, you know what I did? When YouTube gave me a strike, I tried to appeal it, but then they said I couldn't. So what I did is I responded and said, "Me friend, you strike was weak."
Did they reply to that?
No, but I'm sure they probably saw it because when I went, it said that they viewed it.
Dude, if this did go on for longer, you would have your own language. I'm serious. ETT, you would have your own like, words, dude. Like, and I know it'd be moon pies, it would be decoon and facade, that's
hey, look, man. Hey, look, I have more lines than a Zigger's cake treat when it comes to my intelligence, and I don't mean to flex.
Well, I gotta ask you, where'd you get the credit? Who gets credit for the decoon and facade? Because that's funny as hell.
I was the one who came. I was the one who came up with decoon and the sidekick facade. I came up with that. However, going over to the Corolla joke, where I got that from is I got that from a YouTuber named the Atlantis Report. You know who that is?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the one who came up with that joke. So I will give him that one. I will give him that credit because he came up with that.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but decoon and the sidekick, facade, those guys. Hey, look, man, GMS told them, hey, they gotta a facade, he might have a chance if he can get out of there. And you know, that brother sounds cool, but he's clearly lost in the sauce.
Yeah, they're. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how flexible they are because they very clearly, you know, feel that they've got it sort of figured out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like some of the stuff that they're into, even like off camera, so to speak, and all that. Like it's not good. You know, this is not a time for us to be like selling masks and making a business. And like, dude, I don't know if you saw it, but freaking Zabak is trying to raise 100K for like a community or something. I'm like, dude, you're trying to do fundraisers in the last days? Really? Are you kidding me?
Man. Like that's ridiculous, man. That's ridiculous. Let's see. Go ahead.
No, go. I was just gonna say for people like, you don't have to be as doom and gloom as me, but like for somebody like a religious person like that, you know, for us, we have a certain responsibility. People who teach the Bible, like that's not a good, you know, vibe, you know, like to be setting up if you're a quote end times prophet, like, and I kind of feel bad because I learned a lot from Zabak. I consider him a great teacher, you know, but that's messed up. So sorry, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. We'll let AP join in because I didn't have anything else to throw out.
Anyway, about the Sharona, I kind of find it funny because people are all up in arms because the news said it. Like, I mean, think about all the stuff, all the scares that they had about that, and you know, you look at AIDS, the AIDS epidemic for example. Like, you know, AIDS was going around. AIDS is like way worse than, you know, the Sharona.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people were having kids left and right back in the 80s. And, you know, it's like no one was afraid. Now everyone's afraid of a little Sharona. And it has like, what, a 98% survival rate?
Yeah.
It's laughable, man.
Hey, AP, I got to bring something to your attention. What happened was that guy, Good Servant, he calls himself. You can look him up online. But he saw the stream that we did the other day. Listen, he saw the stream that we did, and he was saying that, oh, well, these guys, you know, this stuff that they're saying is like so perverted and so creepy and it's such against the scriptures. I mean, these guys must be some type of like Satanist or something about that. AP, what is your response to that guy?
What guy is this again?
It's a guy named a Good Servant. He was basically saying all that about when we were talking about the teenage myth thing. He was saying all these guys are like so satanic and so wicked and evil to even bring this up in a discussion. Why does this even need to be talked about, is what he was saying.
Well, I agree with you.
I mean, you know, you're going to get that. I mean, you know, you got to figure that's going to happen. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, you know, it's just something that needs to be discussed. I mean, is it the most important thing? I mean, that depends. I mean, I think it's really important that, you know, people understand these things.
Hey, I think it's one of them. I think it's by far one of the most important, truths to go over.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's funny because, you know, you have these people that get really angry about that type of subject, but they let other things go. Like they don't. I mean, if you ever notice that, like these Christians and stuff, they let the homosexual agenda go, the transgender. They don't get nearly as angry about it.
Yeah,
as when you talk. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems like these people that want to call you out for that, they don't address other things.
Exactly.
Like they'll let they don't get like as like it's hard to explain. Like they may touch on it, but they don't, like when it comes to that subject about, you know, the myth of adolescence, they get really like heated about that.
Yeah.
But they don't talk about, like, you know, 10-year-old boys getting transgendered injections, or they don't talk about, you know, the women's bathrooms, like, you know, transgender men using the bathrooms. They don't get as angry about that. Yeah. They don't talk about the homosexual agenda. They don't talk about states where actually bestiality is legal. So which it is. I think in 2 states it's actually legal.
Yeah.
It's like you guys get so worked up over that, but you don't address those things. You don't get angry, or you don't get nothing about, like, you're not as passionate about that as when we talk about that. And the thing is, it is an important subject, and there's nothing, we're not condoning anything. We're not telling you to do anything. We're not telling you to go out there and be debaucherous about it. We're just laying down the hardcore truth. And the funny thing is, they never can disprove it. You know,
right. Just like what's that cat? Sorry to cut you off, man. But just like the Atlantis report says, right? I'm bringing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Right.
Yeah,
so that's all we're doing, is we're just presenting it. Go ahead.
Like, I'm a fair person, and if they could actually disprove it, and they could say like, oh yeah, well it's this, and this, then I'd be like, you know what? I was going off. Maybe you are right. You know, maybe it is wrong, but they don't find any ways to disprove it. All they do is they call you names, they call you a Satanist. That's all it's like, well, can you kind of disprove why that like, can you give me evidence and biblical fact? But they don't. They'll just say, oh, they're Satanist, or they're this and they're that, and they can never find ways.
And sorry to cut you off, man, but I did want to say something, man. And that's what I was watching a Good Servant show, which again, I invited him multiple times to come on and have a civilized, conversation about why he disagrees. But I was on there and he was just like, oh, well, you guys are like so evil. How could anybody even question, such a thing? That's like so weird. So I asked him, okay, brother, why don't we have a civilized discussion? And hey, maybe you can prove me wrong. I will be open to that. But why don't we just have a discussion on the subject and we can reason together, right? We can reason. Matter of fact, the scriptures say what? Give an answer unto every man who asked you a reason of your belief. The scriptures also say what? Debate your calls. I got to throw that verse at him next time. The scriptures say to debate your belief of one who disagrees. So it's just, they won't even do that. It's just, you're wrong. It's like, okay, well, why am I wrong? But it's the law. Okay, well, what is the law? Oh, well, the law is just something that's made up. It's like, okay, so you're arguing, just like if I was to say, well, unicorns exist. Okay, well, why do they exist? Well, I declare it's a law that they exist. So they got to say, okay, we'll see that is proof that unicorns exist.
Well, it's funny too, because when people say it's a law, well, just because something's a law doesn't mean it's moral or correct. I mean, if you go back in time, black people were, viewed as farm equipment, and there was a time when black people were not allowed. There was a law that they weren't allowed to use restrooms and stuff, or there was laws that you know what I mean. Like there was
that's a good point. I think ETT was talking about the law in the Bible, but yes, correct. You're right. Just because it's a law in this world, okay, that doesn't mean that it's right. But the laws of the Bible, I think for people to understand, the laws of the Bible, that's God's word. He's bound to that. He's not going to change his mind. Okay. So the aspect that I do think it's good for people to.
Hey, mind of God, go ahead.
One second.
Okay.
The reason I think it's important for people, you don't have to get into it as deep as the people that are on this panel, because, they're deeper into the Bible. Okay. And we live in the last days. You don't want to start with these topics now with the times that we live in. But the one aspect you definitely should, for people who have time, is that God's not going to tell us to take the last book literally and not take the first few books literally. Okay. So once you do that, then what the part it is important to understand, if we are in the kingdom, is that God's not going to remix those laws. Okay. Those laws are the way the kingdom's going to be governed. Okay. So obviously, again, we have Christ or Yahushua as a king, but it's important to know the law. Okay. I'll hand it to ETT. Go for it. I want to talk a minute, but why I'm doing that. Can you pull up Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 13? You're gonna like You're gonna like the comment that I pinned though. ETT is called emotion-free zone. You're gonna like that when you see this. Sorry, what was the verse?
Man, let me think. I believe it's Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. It should say the Lord was the same yesterday and today, or something like that. They'll paraphrase that. But I wanted to jump in and say, and first of all, laws should be a red flag, because what is the law? Somebody just made it up. It's like, it's no difference if I was to say, well, unicorns exist, and somebody says, no, they don't. So you see, what I'm going to do, I declare it as a law that unicorns exist. So now one cannot argue with that. But you see, laws are a red flag because they don't actually exist. Somebody just wrote a scribble on a piece of paper and said, you obey this or I'll hurt you. That's all the law is. Yeah. And that's why I recommended the book, right? The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose. And he goes into detail on this. So as I said, if you want to learn more about that, and anybody watching, look up that book, right? Go talk to Larkin Rose on YouTube. You can, watch his videos on this. But, there really needs to be a conversation about that. In fact, I'm going to do a future show, actually, I'll probably entitle it The Myth of Government or something like that. Because we need to talk about that subject.
Here's what I would say.
God, Oh, hold on, brother. Hold on.
Yeah.
Mind of God, you have that verse I wanted you to read?
Yeah. Hebrews 13:8. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Sorry, and forever. Okay. So.
Right. So that proves what? That the laws in the scriptures are the same yesterday, today, and they'll be that way forever. So those laws in the scriptures never changed. Go ahead, AP.
The part that I'm not sure if he was trying to cut in. The part that I would say for people when you read those verses that are maybe harder for people, especially women, read those too. You know, like we're not trying to come across better or anything like that. The Bible is the word of God. If you accept the beginning and the end, and we're accepting the end, you have to accept the beginning. The reason I think that it's hard for people is that there's no like Bumble, you know, and Tinder and all that, what we have now. Again, I'm not trying to say that I understand all those verses, but just understand it's a different time, okay, in that time when there's no dating. Hey, you know, I'll meet up at this bar and we're going to talk, you know, and then date and all that, okay? So just try and understand. I'm not saying it's easy because we know what we're lived in, okay? I understand that. We don't even know what it's like to live without the internet, a lot of us, much less all that stuff. So just keep that in mind, okay? Men didn't go up to a woman, hey, you know, like, you want to go on a date, you know, we'll go roller skating or whatever, okay? So just think about that. The courtship was very, very different. And it was a male-dominated society, which is the way it will be in the kingdom, okay? And if you don't like that, you're not going to be in the kingdom, okay? Because the elect are all men, okay? So, again, we're not going to say that those people are going to be like madmen. They're the opposite. They're going to be humble. But just know that that's the way that this earth was designed for man to be in charge, okay? And then look what's happened now with women in charge. Look at it. I mean, look outside.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, it's funny you mention that because the way how men act is they do a lot of things to impress women. They do a lot of things that are going to be women approved. Like, you know, females are going to approve it. Like if women, like for example, women like guys to wear like a certain type of clothes or have a certain type of haircut. The guys are gonna do that because the women want it, and they do that so they can get access to them. When it should be the other way around, and that just goes to show you that men are not in control. They're not the ones setting the rules. The women are, and a lot of that has to do with the over sexualization of our society. Basically, like, you know, pornography and you know, if you ever walk outside or you watch TV or you're on the internet, you see a lot of, you know, sexual ads. I mean, sex is constantly thrown in men's faces, and sex is a woman's tool to use to you know, get stuff out of men. And but the elites know that if they keep throwing sex out there, it's going to distract males and it's going to get men to do things for women. Yeah. It's like, I know this can sound crazy, but there was an episode on South Park where Cartman envisioned this world being taken over by women, and he goes into this like room, and it's like they're literally extracting the semen out of men's, you know, we get it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it kind of I don't know if you guys ever heard of the movement or heard of semen retention.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Like the whole thing, which I got to go in like 5 minutes here, so I'm gonna hurry and get going. But the thing you're talking about, you have something called what? No Nut November. Is that what you're getting at too?
No. Well, sort of, but no. If you look up, just look up semen retention, and it basically means
I know what that is.
If a man, the more a man holds on to his seed and he doesn't expel it, the more in control and the more powerful the more masculine he becomes. So basically, you're walking, like, the reason why I think a lot of it too is that women, like when men and women procreate, or they get it on, the man, after he's done with her, he feels drained and tired, and the woman feels energetic. Like, she's usually not the one sleeping after it. So it's kind of crazy to go into, but it's very deep because a lot of men they're spilling their seed, and it's making them. That's why we're getting a lot of cases of low testosterone, weaker men because of they're giving their power away. They're giving their.
Check this out. I sort of agree with the spirit of what you're saying, that I get that. Here's the thing. Check this out. And it's not a shot to all women, because there are a few righteous women out there, not many. Okay. But imagine if this imagine tonight it became cool for everybody to question that narrative. Imagine women were like, no, I want my man to question everything. Imagine if that happened tonight, a decree, okay? The chief woman officer of the world. The end times there would be no end times, okay? All these videos, we just burn them, because then all the men would start thinking, okay, on their own, and be like, hey, wait a minute, okay, what's good for my body?
Hey,
rest.
Hey, AP, real quick,
Yes.
before I jump out of here, I did want to ask you a question. Have you ever looked into the flat Earth thing? What is your whole thoughts on that?
I'm going to go into a little bit, but it all goes. Well, when I was a little child, when they would mention the globe Earth, I always wondered to myself, like, they say we're on a spinning ball, it's going 1,000 miles an hour. And even then, I was looking around, I'm like, it certainly doesn't seem like we're going 1,000 miles an hour. And it certainly doesn't seem
No,
like,
it doesn't.
It seems like everything's stationary. So, as I got older, obviously I accepted it. But, now, like, I'd say probably like 5-6 years ago, I start getting a little bit into the flat Earth. I start seeing, flat Earth videos pop up, and it's like, wow, that actually makes sense. I definitely believe the Earth is flat. I mean, it has to be. I mean, you look outside, it seems like everything's stationary. It doesn't seem like it's going 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. This is another subject this is another controversial subject, because, man, you tell people you believe in the flat Earth, oh my God, Jesus! I mean, people go insane, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
just like Royals, right? Royals was on there telling me, oh man, don't tell me you believe in that flat Earth BS. And I told him, hey man, hey, look into it, man. In your free time, look into that, man. There's some interesting stuff. Say for an example, when you look at the pictures of the Earth, right? There's certain ones that you can literally see clouds have been printed on it in places right next to each other where they're literally the exact same clouds. So they've been copied and pasted on the globe in multiple different places. So, I mean, you got to ask yourself, I mean, doesn't something seem a little fishy about this? And what about the footage of, the NASA spacewalks? There's been certain times where you can see bubbles coming up from the space station when the astronauts are out there working on it. So, I mean, after a while, it does seem to be a little, suspicious, for a lack of better words. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But what I tell people this. Look, I was like, look, whether you believe in the flat Earth or the globe Earth, here's the thing. We honestly don't 100% know what we're on. But what I can tell you is those pictures that NASA show us are not real pictures, are not real images. They're all CGI. So yeah, okay. So I don't honestly know what we're on. I mean, God knows what we're on. But what I can tell you is that, like, you really believe those pictures, they're all illustrations or they're all CGI. Like, with all the technology we have and stuff, you think they should have a 24-hour broadcasting of the Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
By now.
Exactly.
Oh wait, mine of God. No, it's funny. Elder Apostle Dahar, in an old video where he did the show at the Earth is Round, he took NASA's live feed and he said, well, see, this is proof that the world is round.
Dude, I tried to find an old video where him and his quote elders were trying to debunk the flat Earth, and they took it down. But dude, we would have popped some popcorn and laughed. Oh my gosh, it was funny, dude. Dude, what ETT? One thing they said, they're like, "How are the missiles going to come over and it'll just break the Earth?" They said that. They're like, "If it's flat, it'll just break the whole Earth." I'm like, "Oh my God, dude!" It was absurd, man. It was so bad. So I agree. Yeah. We don't know the full structure. Yes, I would say what I know is the Earth doesn't move, and so that means that we're not on something that's like moving or curved. That I can say.
Exactly. I mean, it's all the pictures that they have is CGI and fake, and the thing is, I mean, topics like this really ruffles the feathers of a lot of people, and I wonder to myself, like, why do people, when it comes to, flat Earth or the adolescence myth, people get so angry about it. And here's the thing, even with like the flat Earth, I can kind of see it, but with the adolescent, myth, I mean, with the adolescent myth and stuff, there's so much truth to debunk what me and ETT say. There's so much truth, at least with that. I mean, there's facts and evidence with that.
Well, just to understand that both of those truths are very potent because it empowers you, you know, and the adolescent one could empower you at a younger age. And then the flat earth will actually empower you as well at a younger age, because the Israelites in the ancient times are very spiritual people. God visited them in the womb. So they knew a lot, even at a young age. Even the Bible says Christ was with the leaders, and like he was impressing them at a young age. So this whole system is designed to constipate or actually stop learning. Like almost stop it completely and make you completely dependent on the system, which is a beast. So you guys all know.
Hey, mind of God.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna have to get going right now while the going is good. It's starting to get dark, and the mosquitoes be coming out after me. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah, man. Anyway, I do want to say I will be streaming tomorrow, probably tomorrow evening.
Okay.
So hey, both of you guys can stop by on my page, and we can chat on there. But anyway, man, I enjoyed the chat as always, man. Good to catch up with you. And AP, I want to talk to you real quick, man. Before I go, I am gonna work on doing that stream on the 31st. So that's what, next Saturday, or this coming Saturday. But yeah, man, is that going to be good for you?
Yeah, anywhere from 6 to 9 o'clock. I mean, I know it's kind of late, but I mean, I can try to get 6 o'clock in.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. That sounds good. And I invited, hey, if you have anyone else you want to invite from the chat, to come on the show, then that sounds cool, man. Hey, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, anyway, man, I'm going to get going, man. But yeah, you have my email. If you have anything else you want to bring up, you can, just send me a message. All right.
Yeah, man, no problem. And it was great talk to you guys, as always. It's very refreshing to talk to people who are like-minded, because you don't get that too often.
Right. But anyway, guys, I'll see you around. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace with you.
Have a good night.
Okay.
Yeah. Take care.
Yeah. Okay.
Justin's like, can you drop Justin, just so you know, that's not really like what I talk about a lot, but if you scroll up in the chat, you can just go to End Times Teacher's channel. He's more into that, but just go to his channel. He's one of the guests on my panel. I mean, I'll talk about that just sort of to kind of pass the time. I just don't find that interesting for me personally. It doesn't unlock anything for me. I'm more into like, the end times and prophecy and like finding, the pattern that I was told, the sequence that I was told everywhere. And I'm looking in the Apocrypha now. So if you're interested in the Apocrypha, that's probably going to be my focus for the next little while. But, I thank the two guests for coming on, and all that kind of stuff. It's, we're living in those kind of days where the cool thing about the Bible is you can open it up and then read it and then trust it historically because of how incredibly amazing it's delivering on, what's happening now. So it actually lends, not that it needs it, but it adds an incredible amount of credibility to it as a historical document. And then people oriented their life, based on it. And they lived and died by it, like I think a lot of us are doing right now. So that's an amazing thing, in that respect. But I don't really kind of go into that too much here. But, I don't really have anything else. But thanks again for everybody for stopping by. I don't know actually what my plans for like quote unquote teaching. I think people know the gist of my channel. I'm going to keep looking for that sequence in the Apocrypha. And, I got this book recently. So it's a big book. So there's a lot to go through. And so, I don't know, that might take like a month or so. And then at that point, I think it's for me, again, I'm not saying that it's not good to learn from the Bible or whatever, but for me, it's very exciting because the Bible's coming true in front of our eyes. So a lot of it is just going to be waiting, like to see what's going to happen. And then for me, I'm most anxious about after this meteor shower, which is going on right now. And then, I believe that we're on the precipice of Christ's second coming. Okay. And so, just know that that's sort of my focus. I would say for me personally, like the things that I teach, a lot of it won't make sense unless Christ returns, because I teach that Revelation 11 is literal, with two men being in America for 1,260 days. And so I was told that those two men are the two men in Acts 1, 10, and 11. And so that has to happen soon, you know, and that's just, it's obvious that it has to happen soon, because they're going to be here for 1,260 days, and it will not be cut short, according to Revelation 11. And also, they're not bringing good news. Okay. They're going to be bringing plagues, headquartered in America, but for the entire earth simultaneously. And so then there's no doubt that God exists at that point. And so that's why I look to the skies every day, even now. So I believe there's no prophecies that are left that are needed for Christ to return, you know. And then if people think that there are, you know, let me know, and then we can have a hangout and discuss it. I'd be very interested to know which ones you think are remaining. But I think it's very, very clear that there's none, you know. This is the mark of the beast. It is. Okay. Then let that sink in. Okay. It is. And then if it's not, then the Bible's not true. All of it. Just laugh at it. It's a comic book. Okay. And so just know that. Okay. So the only thing that's remaining at this point is Christ's second coming. And then what's going to happen when Christ appears in the sky, he's going to take away his elect. And then two men are going to be brought to America. And this is going to be the strangest thing that anybody has ever seen. But for people who understand the Bible, it's going to be salvation. The Bible even describes salvation as a strange event. Okay. It's strange because people are taken away, but it's also strange because people are going to be brought here. I'm not sure why my camera stopped. Can people still hear me? Just let me know if you guys can still hear me. It's showing a blank screen. Okay, I'm not sure why it's you know, it's just a black screen, but yeah, so that's the stance that I have, and so that's the urgency with which I teach, and so that's why I believe that we're going to see Christ return, you know, in 2021, and so it's an amazing thing, you know. This to me is absolutely incredible. That you know, the times that we live in, you know, so that's all I got. Hope everyone's doing well, and thanks again for those guys for stopping by. Peace. Bye.